Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear, Meow? Okay, yes. Good, 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 good. Okay, so we'll redo over. Welcome back to all of my beautiful lovelies, all of my creative creatures out there, my returning soul fam, my galactic warriors, love, light warriors, indigo, star seeds, crystal, rainbow, all of you beautiful people out here that are really beings out here that are working on really raising your consciousness, clearing your traumas. We're literally eliminating these narcissistic grids, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. So you guys, big test. Okay, they literally have been berating. I can feel it even in dream state and meditation state. And yeah, I just got this big like, oh, you passed the test. And then I received a beautiful message from a beautiful community. Shout out to the Awakenings community, to Michelle Miche and to Sunray. The most beautiful message from Sunray. Also amazing reader and being out there. Have fun, have so much fun out there at the fair. Okay. But yeah, so it's like for every humiliation ritual they've tried to do, for many of you guys, you may have not even noticed or been bothered by it. For others, it just failed or it's just backfiring, right? Like what you may have fallen for before, or where you may have gone, or who you may have hung out with, or who you may have talked to, like just isn't prevalent, number one. Number two, there has been an overwhelming amount of, for instance, if people are doing something that is of ill will, right? You know, when I do the prayer, the clearing, you're about to hear it. If people do things that are of ill will or bad intent towards a collective, then you're asking for the protection of your guardians and stuff, then you're going to be receiving that, which means you may not even see, you may not hear, you may not experience whatever is going on, right? Like it's like you jumped so many, you quantum leap, you jumped so many timelines that whatever it is these people are trying to do are so low vibrational frequency that it's just like, can't touch this, dun, 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 like that. You know, it's just like, you guys are just like sidestepping it, boom, like crabs, like shoo, shoo, you know, or like Neo from the Matrix, where he's like, shoo, 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 and all the bullets are going by. It's basically like that's what's happening. You're like, what? And you just like grab this one and you're like, this isn't even a real bullet. And you just like throw it down. Or it's like like, let's say it's like a candy and you just like grab it and you're like, this isn't even a real bullet. This is candy. This is some sugar coated whatever. And you're just like, many of them are trying to send different spells, maybe like shut up spells, maybe like spells for, I don't know, maybe glamour, maybe weight, different things like this. Like I know someone can, I can tell right now, some fat ass came in and wore this, right? Because it's like I'm not tiny, but like someone way bigger than me, because I can tell I work with material, right? This is my top. I just washed it and then I put it on, and then I was like, wait, I don't want to wear this today because the weather changed. And then I took it off immediately. And I'm just like, this is not, so whatever. I had some really interesting downloads, and people be on it. They be trying. My cat just gave me like a really cool download. I'll share that. But let's start this off with a nice little protection spell and prayer. Dear universe, source creator, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, animals, elementals, mantises. Let's call in Anubis. Let's call in the ascended masters. Let's call in the archangels. Let's call in Mary Magdalene energy. Let's call in Archangel Michael, right? I mean, I call in the archangels, but let's bring in Michael, because Michael, we're gonna need some people to, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna need some backup. We're gonna need you to gather the people, gather your angels, gather the legion, bring them in. Um, and who else? Let's go with the Mantis and the Galactic Federation, the Love Light, and all the other high vibrational frequency beings that are out here to help assist us in the general growing of this love centered, this acceleration of this collective consciousness, right? Of bringing us to the highest possible timelines and grids that are meant for us, right? For everyone, to each his own. We thank thee for your guidance, for your protection, for your presence, for your clear and concise and precise messages. We ask that, so mote it be. We ask you, guardians, that anybody that's blocking us, preventing us, anything like this, that they start to feel it. There's a repercussion that is coming. Ooh. Okay, I'm hearing this. I'm sorry, I'm hearing this. The spiritual pimp hand is strong. The spiritual pimp hand is strong. So anybody that is wow, that's funny. The guides, I love you. I love you guides. I love you, spirit. You're hilarious. They got jokes. They got jokes. But we ask that anybody wishing any harmful, ill will, malintent, anything like this, um, that we send them on their way, right? We return to sender. We transmute that energy back times tenfold to us. Hello. Give me one moment, guys. Give me one moment. I got to turn you down for 1 second. One moment, please. Mm. Yeah, yeah, I hear them. Yeah, yeah, I hear them. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hi, how you doing? Come on, Lima Pulu. Isn't it Sunny, or do you have Lima Pulu or pizza? Ibu di sini, I'm on a call, yeah? Pizza di sini. I'm on a call, yeah, yeah. Be nice, Miss, be nice. Oh my goodness, sorry guys. Okay. Finally, I've been waiting for my landlords to show up. Okay. So, okay. Where was I at? Okay, so we thank the ancestors and everybody for being here with us, for their protection, for their presence. We ask that anybody that's sending any type of harm or ill will, anything that isn't blessings and abundance and love towards the collective, that is returned to sender. We don't need to transmute trash energy. We're only transmuting things that are, available to us. So beautiful, so happy they're out here right now. Like this is just a confirmation. They came up here. There's been so many ceremonies going on here, and so they came up here and they do these blessings, and they come and do their family things. And when they're opening temples and different stuff, it's been going on for literally like almost a month. But it's one of the reasons. Oh, sorry, you guys. My bad. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? My bad. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Sorry. Oh goodness. Okay, so what I was saying is I'm super happy because um, the owners where I live, they finally came down here with their kids. There's all these ceremonies that are consistently going on over here, and they're um, they're doing extra blessings, like they're blessing the area, they're blessing new temples, they're blessing new roads, or doing all of this. And so I always love when they show up. It's like such a good vibrational energy, but it's just another confirmation, right? So, anyways, what I was saying before is let's thank our archangels, our ancestors, our guides, and let's say that anything or any trash energy that is coming to us that is hateful, harmful, of ill will or ill intent gets returned to sender. We do not need any of that trash energy, so mote it be. We ask times 10, times 100-fold, send that back. So, something really interesting. So, what I was picking up on is like, as I was doing the blessing before all this happened, and then they came here. So they come here. 11:11 could be significant. So they come here when they're doing like the little blessings and the prayers and like cleaning and stuff like this. And and they're all dressed up in their ceremonial stuff. And so anyways, they um they come here, and so that's just another thing, right? They're just blessing and clearing the energy and the air of the space. Some of you guys are going to be, you're going to be transferring or shifting, moving. You may be cleaning or clearing old people, transmuting different energies and stuff out, which is really, really, really amazing. Okay, guys. So what I was picking up on is like the spiritual pan is strong, right? The spiritual pan is strong, and it's like people that thought that they could try to humiliate you, like if you're collective. Let's see what this looks like. I haven't braided my hair in so long, but I did it so the top gets flat because my hair is so curly. Okay, that's kind of cute, right? It's kind of cute. We'll go with it. So anyways, these people that thought that they could just keep taking, keep feeding off of, keep, harvesting your energy, or, basically feeding off of it, they're being shown otherwise at this point, right? How's that? That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. So they're being shown otherwise. And what's happening is like what the spirits were telling me, they're so funny, is they're just like the spiritual, like maybe I have like a gangster or something. Like sometimes I feel like I got some gangsters, some afterlife gangsters that are out there with me, But they're just like spiritual pimpan, strong, like it's got reach. And so basically, if people were participating in bad mouthing you, in spreading rumors, in smear campaigns, in deprivation of character, right? If they were listening to other people, or if they're part of these cults or these covens or these groups where they're all working together because they want to harvest your energy, and they've been doing that, right? The pempan, the spiritual pempan is strong. Like they're gonna get. Not only is it not gonna work, not only is it going to fail, or have they failed, but also they're going to be backfiring. Okay, now some of them were showing me some pretty intense stuff, right? Like people's places like catching on fire, like their cars breaking down and then getting hit or crashing off of places, like high places, or like maybe into water even. So make sure you guys check your vehicles, or, I don't know if that's for the karmic people. They're literally trying to block me so much. Trying to block me. Okay. So for the collective, your energy, our energy is so beautiful. They can't block us. You guys passed a test. So I woke up and I had the most beautiful message. Um, from Sunray saying that I was trying to get on because my friend does this amazing show, Awakenings with Michelle Mache. Shout out right back to you guys, Sunray and Mish and the Awakenings community. And um, they were like, "Where were you, Zoe? We gave you a shout out. We could sense your energy, but you never showed up. You're like, you weren't there. What happened?" And I was just like, I was trying to get online with them for like an hour, and it's just all this blocking or whatever. And they're like, "You're not really blocked. We got you. We support you. We see you. We know that you're rising. You did it. It was just initiation. You're okay." Like all of this interesting, energy. And so whatever these other people were attempting to do to kind of like put you in a lower state of mind, collective, just know it's like it those people are being run by a darker order. Okay, first of all. And it's a lot of people, is going to be people that are close to you, people that are your friends, or maybe they're hacking messages or something that are coming in between, right? And they're or maybe these people are just part of these culture covens and you thought they were your friends. There was a lot of things that were going on where it's like, oh, these people maybe were your friends, but then maybe they got another order. Maybe they got to pay. Maybe they got a better offer that was like, well, if you do this to collective, if you ghost, if you do this humiliation ritual, if you participate in that, then you'll get a fat payout. But what they're realizing is there's a repercussion. There is a spiritual pimp is strong, and the backlash is like gonna be like no other, right? Like whatever they're, so let's say, for instance, let's say their deprivation of character, right? Something is going to get released about them and they're never going to be able to come back from it. The difference between you collective and these other people that are running smear campaigns about you is you have the credibility, because if they're already copying you and responding to you, then you already won. Just know that you already won long time ago. It's just we're dissolving that lower third density matrix. And kind of like what the guides were showing me is like you don't get like that. Cool, we have limited space on the ship, and so we're just trying to figure out who's on the ship and who's on the shore, who's getting saved and who's no need anymore, right? If people are willing to betray you for some type of clout, some type of money, some type of cool kids crew, or some type of offering, then they're not your friends. And so basically, I was having to laugh with it when I was just having a shower, because they were just showing me and telling me all this information, and it was so strange. Um, you know, it was so strange because I was just like, what? And then like cracking up, and they're just like, yeah, well, just imagine it like this. Like you want to bring everybody with you, like all the high vibrational people want to bring everybody with them, but it's like, but there's a limited amount of spaces on the ship, there's a limited amount of weight, there's a limited amount of whatever. And so it's like they've been doing all these tests to see who's your friend, like, oh, they're really your friend, but then they're going to put your friend like in a position where, for instance, maybe they're with your partner and seeing if they're down to hook up with their partner. Oh, well, nobody's going to know. Or it's like I'm almost picking up like what do you call it? Like real world shit, right? But like real earth, like real world earth shit. Real world earth ship. And so that's what it is it's like we're figuring out like who's who in the zoo, and what people's where people's personal integrity, like where their character stands. Because what happens is when push comes to shove, are you still going to be true to the character you portray, or is the true you going to come out on display? And so many of these people didn't realize that they're actually like, if they agreed to participate, then all of their devices have been hacked, all of their communication has been being monitored, all of this stuff, right? And so they just are like, oh, okay, yeah, collective doesn't see that we're talking to each other, and let's do this because that'll really piss them off. Oh, well, they're not responding, so let's go for a humiliation ritual, right? And let's do this. And so that's what all these people have been doing, but really they've just been shooting themselves in their own foot, um, is essentially what's going on, and the long and the short end of it. And so it's just really, really interesting, um, you know, what um what people are saying. If you're typing inappropriate messages, they're gonna come up as block messages. So um I can't see, I just see that all these messages are held for review. You got to type something appropriate for it to come onto my chat, because this isn't some fucking sex shit. Now, something that I came up with, which was really interesting, is they were telling me about mail, people taking mail, people blocking mail, people hindering mail. And so when I was here, my cat was like going on and on and on, like, come outside, come outside, come outside. Someone's in the mail. And I'm like, this guy is always bringing packages. And she's like, da da da. And I'm like, leave him alone. Normally she comes when I call, and she does all of this. And the reality is she's just like not, she was like berating, right? She was just not having, you thought it was okay, well, you're going to be removed. So she wasn't having it, right? And I was like, what is going on, right? And then as I see this fucking sneaky ass whore next door, right, as I see her, she's like, the guy was like, but isn't this a different name? And she's like, oh yeah, but I'm collecting it, I'm collecting it. So one guy is over here running some type of stuff where they're pretending to use my live, and they're tapping into the IP, pretending to be me, and that's why it always glitches out at the beginnings of my feed. And this bitch has been collecting mail and other things. Not only that, but She is running online sex shop and online pornography. Not me. Absolutely not. I have never and will never sell. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the whole next door is using Collective's name to order sex toys and then filming them and using their stanky hoo-ha, trying to claim to be collectives, trying to make collective, because it's like this. Imagine like this, guys. They have no other way they can get you. They've tried this, they've tried humiliation rituals, they tried to set you up, they try to make you look like a whore, they try to make you look like you're crazy, they try to make you look like you're on drugs or you're freaking out or you're mentally unstable or whatever. They've been trying all of this stuff. And so now the only thing they can do is literally get in the vicinity, use the same IP, your name, your information, and then be running that shit. So, like I was saying last night, you guys, that is identity theft because you're using someone else's identity and someone else's voice, someone else's face. That like there's whole new federal laws that are going in place due to my case. No, due to collectives cases. Like just bet you guys, it's gonna be fucking it's gonna be wild. Um yeah, you can't type who is this? Niv. I'm just gonna say Niv. Yeah, if you type words like corn or whatever, it will block it. Even though it's a 18 or even though I'm a not content for children, whatever, they block it. Um Yeah, and so that's basically what they're doing is they're not just doing it to snoop, but they're also doing it. It's like deprivation of character. So they're using it. So like let's say I go on my lives every day and they can't do anything. So what they can do is be next to you and be like, "Oh, well, I am this bitch." Like you're not this bitch. You even on your best day with all of your accolades, you would be fucking skyscrapers like Empire State buildings from my basement, bitch. Nice try. Nice try. And people know that, people know that. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. And so that's what it is. But these people have been collecting money, right? They have been collecting money in Collective's name. They've also been, what I was picking up on yesterday is they're also, so let's say, for instance, people want to sponsor you, right? Like, let's say you guys went viral and people want to sponsor you, like, oh, here's our nail color or our lip color or our hair color or here's some clothes or here's some whatever. And so they're taking it, but they're using deep fakes. You know what I'm saying? So they're using your voice, your image. So literally, that's also considered identity theft because you're posing you stole somebody's actual being identity, their voice, their sound, their everything. And these people are collecting like I'm seeing like large packages, like large like let's say they're just like come for a free vacation, come to a show, come to the restaurant opening. Like it's almost like what I'm picking up on is almost like concierge style. It's like they want you, it's like you know you're if you say something collective because your word is gold because they've been checking it and running it and it's like you're batting 1,000, it's like you're on the money. You're on the money about everything. So all these people that were running all these lies and these smear campaigns and everything, and you're still out here like, boom, deuces, smiling, like, oh, that's funny. Oh, you're the one who tried to do, you're the one that you thought my ex wanted to be with instead of me. That is a funny story. You just did some weird black magic on the motherfucker. Like that's crazy. And then you come over here and you're like, damn, you're nothing like me and you could never be. But so you're going to sit here next door and try to make me look like the whore that you are. That's crazy. But, anyways, all we can do is laugh about it, right? All we can do is just laugh about it and say, oh, okay. Because the watchers are also being watched, right? Because if you're of spiritual divinity, if you're of spiritual mission, then as the watchers are here to bring things back into order, it's like, so imagine you have like regular fucking 3D, right? You have like the cops or the feds, whatever. You have these lower uh enforcements, and then you have like the secret services as you get higher, and then you have this, and then like let's say there's like men in black status, right? Where it's like they seem like they're secret service, but they're also working with like the hires, like that. We're kind of like that. And so these watchers are basically in that mode, right? They're like the jurisdiction to make sure we don't get too out of pocket down here and go into a nuclear war or some crazy shit, right? So just consider them like that. That's the best way I can give you guys like a visual image to like a digestible conceptualization is like just kind of imagine it like Men in Black. So they're basically like they have the ability to kind of like hop into other species, other beings or whatever, especially people that have a lot, like especially people that have addictions, like whether that's addiction to media, to corn, to video games, to substances, to like whatever your ego needing exterior validation, whatever it is, right? Um, codependency, like work, whatever. There's so many things. And when you get like so in that state, you're in that state because you're operating in the state of fear, of lack, of scarcity, of jealousy, envy, greed, hatred, right? All of these different levels, right? There's so many levels to it. And so the reality is those are all third density. Those are all lower frequency. Those types of energies that people display, right? Like tit for tat, picking back at like that type of shit. Um, it can't come to the fourth density, and it's like these lower vibrational frequencies and beings are trying to keep collective tied to these old timelines, to these lower densities, right? But you guys have the spiritual inheritance. Now many of these people have been collecting money in your name. Many of these people have been getting paid out in your name. But it doesn't matter, because listen, it's galactic karma, right? It's cosmic karmic balance that comes into play, right? So this is what it says here: the 10 of coins, treasure, discovery. Okay, so this is like you have maybe been discovered by your galactic beings, maybe by even higher level organizations that are like, boom, we're about to put you as like, I'm almost sensing like spokesperson. I'm also picking up like they may be creating new jobs or new positions or something like this for what you guys are doing. We maybe it's like everything that we knew, right? All the outer planets are now here. We've never experienced this in our lifetime before. And this is where radical changes and shifts are happening, right? And so we're like, what? So everything that we knew it to be before, right? This is the very Alice in Wonderland, the very okay, I'm feeling it. The very Alice in Wonderland energy, right? Where everything that is, that was what it is, isn't, and everything that isn't what it was is. It's like that. So, but that's how it's going to be as far as like, um, right, like patriarchy, like boom, patriarchy's dead, where matriarchy is coming on, like like greed, lust, money, power, all of that shit is literally like if you're at fourth, fifth density, you're not living in that state. You're just like, oh, where's my community? Okay, like who wants to grow food? Who wants to help? Be a community to raise a kid. Like who wants to, and that's the vibration, is this collective communal vibration. And so we've never really been in that, like in any of our lifetimes so far. We've never experienced being in this transit of everything changing that we knew, right? It's like revolutionary phases. um Bingo, that's right, straight fucking on, facts queen, that's right. What's up, Sony? What up? Yeah, and that's really what it is, right? And so it's like we will get this, it's like there's still going to be, and this is how right? For many of you guys, it's like they may have just been like, for instance, they try to invite you somewhere and you're just like, you know what, I don't want to go, or you don't even receive the invitation, or someone doesn't invite you because they think it's funny, but everybody's like, why didn't they show up? We planned this whole humiliation ritual. And then they're just like, oh, like I thought that we were trying to fuck them up, so actually I didn't even give them the invitation. It's like that. It's like literally like there's higher powers that are kind of like just beep 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 beep. And it's like not just are these people before, like laugh now, cry later. That's like so hardcore. And that's why I say, like, the guides are so funny. They're like, spiritual pimp hand strong. It's got reach. We got reach on this bitch. Like, boom. It's like, it don't matter where you are. Like, that spiritual backhand is gonna make your head like if you were going against like a light being. If you're trying to pass off the propaganda that they're unwell, that they're mentally unstable, that there's something that they're not, and you're jumping on the bandwagon to try to gain money or clout, you're selling somebody else out, you're selling other souls out to whatever. That is old patriarch. You're enabling old systems, old servitude, subservient. Like, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of the women out there that are still operating in those ways aren't going to get to the fourth and fifth densities. It's just not possible. It's a choice. Either you say we're actively stepping in to our highest timeline, we're all being treated, well, with treasure, getting this outcome, or you're not, or you don't get that new start. Look, Ace of Wands in reverse. How much? I mean, like, I can't even make this up. Success and rule. Yeah, these people where they thought they were going to be successful, or where they got some type of temporary success, the moon, the lunacy delusion, they were lied to. Think about it. Things that come so easy, that come so quick, is so into you. Like, she was really into me. Yeah, why do you think? Because there is some secret shit that sent it to you. Like, you don't get anything that is like, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to work hard for everything, but there is a certain amount of karma, there is a certain amount of stuff, like work and energy, that you have to do or put in order for this to basically turn over, in order for you to get it. But basically what I'm hearing, that different groups, different whatever, have one moment. One moment, please. Check everything. Hold on. Suksumaya, boo. Yeah, makasih. So they have my change. They're just doing stuff around, so maybe that's why they're just checking the cameras and the internet and all of this stuff. Um, okay. It's time for people to pay up their debts. They couldn't deliver on. Death is called. You want in or no? Come on. You want out? Okay. You stay out then. You stay out then. Okay. Sorry, guys. Oh, they're hating. They're hating. Okay. She just wanted me to. She don't want. It's so funny. She's like, get the money. I don't want to leave money outside. But it's funny because I've had money sitting outside there for like over a month and nobody touched it. Motherfuckers will come in and try on your clothes, but not take money that's sitting in a paper outside here. Like, that just shows you, like, people are crazy. Anyways, you wish people the best with whatever. You hope everyone has a lovely night. Gotta go. Sorry, your energy is too potent for long period lives. All good. Much appreciation and love. Peace out. Nice to meet you. Okay. So these people basically, under a false pretense, got these other people, maybe they were friends, maybe they were family, to do something, right? To do something, to act like you are insane, that you're not well, something like this, to lie. They got these people to lie on you, collective. And some of these people may, know better, because they know who you are and not going to talk shit on you. Other people are being shown, like, let's say they're hearing recordings, like audio recordings, or seeing like deep fake whatever, where people are showing them that you're doing stuff that you're not doing, right? Like just like I was saying, the whore next door, right? Where it's like they're partying and they're whatever, and they're using your voice, collective. They're using your voice, they're using your face, they're using all your IP address because they fucking been stalking you, moving next door, whatever they've been doing, right? And the reality is these people lied. Not only were they lied to about the job that they took, but they lied on the collective. And so actually they're facing serious charges, identity theft. That's identity theft because and it's deprivation of character, it's also human trafficking, it's also you know, depending on how crazy they're getting, it can be a lot of other things because it's just like all these laws, everything is changing, everything in the world is changing. And whoever these people were basically told they would get some type of payout, some type of reward. And so whoever these people are like, oh, okay, let's do it. Let's ghost the collective. Let's make the collective feel mentally unstable. Let's do this. Let's do that. Ha ha. Let's see. Let's see. That's not your fucking friend. And if they were your friend, Six of Cups in reverse, if they were past reminiscence, yeah, you guys just need to let go of it. It doesn't just because you've known somebody, just because they helped you before, just because whatever. As we're in the spiritual warfare, right? This is a test. Imagine this is a test of the emergency broadcast system coming from the Galactic Federation of Love Light, saying, all loving, light bearing citizens, we are calling on you to step high into your callings because we will be removing and saving and protecting the higher frequency vibrational beings before we eradicate the rest. But we have minimal amount of spaces. I'm talking minimal amount of space. So if people aren't communing properly with the earth, right? If people aren't doing it or if they are doing it or they're pretending to do it, they're like, oh yeah, I'm on Instagram and here's what I'm acting like, but actually I'm a fucking bitch in real life, then they're knowing. It's like, again, like I was telling you guys yesterday, it's almost like Santa Claus, you know, like they know who's been naughty, they know who's been nice, and they know all this shit. And so, you know, you just got to let go. You got to let go. If you want to step into a new, brighter future, then reminiscing on the past and people from the past that were so quick to share your information, to talk shit, to turn on you, to do all this crazy shit, when all you've done is like give them love and support and ask for normal human communication, right? If you have a, you know, for me, where my mission is so bright and under so much spiritual warfare, even though I know I'm above all of it, the reality is like it doesn't matter how long I've known you for, it doesn't matter anything else. What matters is if you're my real friend or if you're a real human, you will pick up the goddamn phone and make an actual fucking call, video chat on a on an application where I can talk to you because I live on the opposite side of the world, or you're not and you were never my friend, right? I've been asking literally over 200 people to give me a fucking call for the last year. And I've talked to maybe 3 people. Only 2 of them actually called physically. So for me going forward, I don't trust anything, and neither should you guys. Just be, if somebody isn't live, if you don't know for sure if it's AI or a real person, like rinse, a la poubelle, trash. Trash. It's trash. Humans should be doing human things. We don't need to have AIs pretending to be humans. That is what is the ending of the world, right? That is Terminator timeline. If you're making art into AI, okay. If you're creating stories about historical figures and you're representing whatever people like this, as far as AI is concerned, great. But as far as advertising, as far as any of this other shit, like absolutely not. Stop taking human jobs unless y'all just want the entire draconian order to fucking eradicate y'all. Like, you guys ever heard of the Mayan civilization? You know how they just disappeared and nobody knows what happened to an entire civilization? Remember Atlantis, and it just is like doesn't even exist anymore? It's like that. That's where we're at. So any people that are keeping lower versions, like third density timelines, versions of you, or that are keeping you in these past reminiscence, trying to drag you back to these places or spaces, or trying to trigger you. Those are narcissists. Friends don't trigger friends. Narcissists trigger healers. Now, for many of you guys, you're not going to be triggered. You're going to be like, whatever. Again, it's going to backfire. But somebody needs to hear this, because whatever, yeah, you guys are just, you don't care. It's like all these people said all this shit about you and you just don't really even care. You're just like, cool, tight, because it's like, what is the saying that I'm thinking of? It's like, some people are going to wish that they had treated you better, because the way that things are going to start moving, they're going to be like, wait, help, help. And you're going to be like, what do you call it? They're going to be like, but we're homies, and you're going to be like, I remember when you participated in a smear campaign against me for no reason, because your inability to make a phone call like a normal, to have adult communication like a normal adult. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Trish. You will charge them in court. You have your house papers. You will sue them. Yeah, it's going to happen. Like, for some of you guys, here's the thing, is you may not need to do all this. Like, it's going to be sorted for you, right? Like, karmatically speaking, like, everything is going to be, for many of you guys, there may be some type of, symmetry poise, two swords. So it's like, but see how these swords are down, not up? It's like, you already know the truth. You already know the truth. It's not about choosing between what's right and wrong. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. They knew what was right and they knew what was wrong. So you don't have to take as much action, right? Because we're overloaded with this masculine energy. You have to be more in the feminine energy, to where you're holding that poise, right? The symmetry, the poise. You're saying, I know within everything of my being, and you're not letting other people berate you and dim your light, or your innate inner knowing. Does that make sense? So you kind of just have to, like, block off that innate inner knowing or being. Block off anything that is not that, right? Because you already know. The two of swords normally is upwards, right? That's a decision. You've already decided, you know it's right. You've already decided what you're going to do. For many of you, like, you're like, listen, I don't care, because the reality is when the court actually comes into session, like, I'm going to testify. And to be honest, everyone who didn't have my back can fucking pay me. Everyone that, anything that was whatever in the way, if you made an agreement with me, if we had some type of agreement or whatever, and I said I was going to do something, then it will be sorted. Do you understand? I keep my word. A divine being of light keeps their word. But you have to understand that there's a lot of other circumstances that are going on. So you can't ask somebody to do something for you if you're not willing to also do minimum of to communicate. And that's how you're going to know that ops have infiltrated, because people won't want to communicate. They only want to text, or they only want to be angry, or they only want to whatever. They don't have time, but they can make a lot of time to make a big fucking deal and smear campaign and run around with all these other people, not realizing these people aren't coming to give you an opportunity because you're great. They're coming to take an opportunity away from the collective because you're connected. I hate to break it to you, babe. It's because they have no other way to get close to collective. Hey, Hannah. Hello, hello. Look at all these beautiful hearts. Sending so much love, 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 love. Yeah, you guys are getting this new beginning. Yeah, somebody's been hiding some type of messages, some type of secret, some type of something. And again, I was talking about this, don't give it too much energy, but you're going to know if you're really tapped into your guides are going to tell you this message isn't from this person. Like, my guides have literally been frying out the message. It will just start glitching, or then it will fucking up in a different language, or it will be like in some fucking computer code, like whatever, right? So it's like literally they're blocking it. They're like, listen, this bullshit, this was either a scrambled message, this message was either interfered with along the way, or this person that is sending you this message has ill will intent or is trying to attack you. So you actually can't receive this message. We're literally just we're talk blocking, we're cock blocking, we stopping. They're stopping it. They're pulling out the stops, right? Spiritual pimp hand got reach. It's strong. Yeah, look at this. The 9 of coins. Harmony and chemistry. Yeah, because anything that isn't in the same alignment and vibrational frequency is just going to fizzle out. They can have no longevity, right? This is tribe. This is community. I'm also picking up on for many of you guys, it's like what was that movie? What was that movie? The Lion King. The Lion King. Sorry, I have like so much with my uh, spine and my pelvis from the accident. From the accident. It's okay. We're gonna get paid on that too. No worries. 6 of coins. Yeah. But what I'm picking up on is, yeah, you guys are about to receive something. So like the Lion King energy. So it's like I'm seeing what's his name? I'm seeing the monkey. I'm seeing the monkey. Rafiki? Rafiki, is that the name? And I'm seeing him like swing the thing, like, okay, did you learn? Did you learn the lesson? And he's like swinging the thing. But then I'm also seeing like this, this is what they did, right? They scared Simba away. Okay, I'm trying to tune into what the message is with the Lion King. Okay, because they're just super prominent and wants me to go into it. Okay, so remember, the evil uncle Scar, right? He was the one that was like, oh yeah, 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 we're buddies, we're buddies, we're buddies to Simba. But then also he basically scared him away. He basically was like, you're not allowed to come here, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, they'll never forgive you. I'm going to tell them that you killed your father and all this stuff, right? And so it's like they ran away. You ran away. Now, maybe some of you guys may have done the same thing, maybe not like the same exact thing, but maybe similar, right? And it's like, when you return, you know, you may not be the same. Like, actually, here's 3 big cats. You could have Lyran roots too. Very strong. Lyran is like the cat-headed people. I never noticed before. I always thought this was a pride of lions. The one is a lion, and then the other one is a cheetah, and this one is a cheetah. This one is a tiger. This one is a lion. So it's like you're about to be, or maybe they found you. Maybe you were missing, right? Maybe you were a missing persons. Maybe you were whatever. Maybe you got away. Maybe you were an orphan, or I don't really know. For me, I picked that up a lot because as a kid, I love to watch stuff like that, like where am I going to find my real family and all this other stuff. And I always felt this offness. So anyways, you guys may be receiving some type of actual gift. Now, somebody actually may have been sending gifts to you and somebody was receiving them as if they were you and then making you look some type of way. And now they're figuring out whoever this higher up, these other organizations and stuff, they're filtering it, they're doing all this and they're figuring it out, right? And yeah, these people are in big fucking trouble. Big Trouble, Little China, 10 of Wands, misery, torment. They're being tormented, okay? I'm picking up also this tarantula or black widow, okay? These people have done this before, okay? Maybe somebody pretended. So, for instance, we get a lot of, I can't see what you're writing. We get a lot of, I just moved so much farther away. I got to pick up the other device. It's like we get a lot of this black widow energy, right? So it's like um imagine like what's the thing that we talk about all the time? We talk about like the Cinderella story, or the Annie and the Daddy Warbucks type shit. So it's basically like, imagine imagine there was like a little kid, right? Imagine there was a little kid and they did some type of thing, right? Like Simba, like the Lion King, like this energy. And this Black Widow, whoever this was, they came in and they married the parent. But the only reason why they did that, the only reason why they connected with this was to off them, was to unalive them, to collect something. And now they're being tormented. They are here in misery. They are experiencing torment. They are literally like they're caught in their own web. Yeah, because they try to unalive you. They try to unalive High Priestess. They try to unalive you, but they can't. You're anchored in. Knight of Coins, you're anchored. Your essence is physically anchored into this grid space. It's like, what was the movie that I was picking up on earlier today? The Infinites, The Infinites. And The Infinites was talking about, um, these people, it's like they kept reincarnating. They kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And like, so let's say they get shot in the military and then they would come back alive. Like they would have to still send them, put them somewhere else because other people like that, like they couldn't wrap their head around that. They couldn't wrap their head around these people that had higher powers, higher spiritual powers or connectivity, right? Like they couldn't do it. So they had to keep changing who they were, something like this, but it's like they couldn't. All my friends are free. All friends are free. So okay, okay, are you new? Yeah. Okay, okay, you can hear me. Okay. So if you're new here, something you should know is that whenever I start dropping the knowledge, um, whenever I start dropping the knowledge, they block, right? They disrupt this. They disrupt the what do you call it? They disrupt the feed. And so, anyways, um, and so that's how you know when something is real, when something is true. So it's basically like this. They're so they have like they're like the watchers, right? The infinites are basically like the watchers, right? Where they can't actually like leave this physical earth grid, right? And so yeah, they have to keep kind of moving around and doing different stuff. But you collective, it's like they can't off you. They can't unalive you. They can't unalive you because you have a cosmic mission. You have a universal mission to fulfill. Okay. That's really rude, whoever you are. I'm reporting you because you don't attack people. Again, that's hate. That's hate. That's violence. Like we don't need that. That doesn't exist in fucking that doesn't exist in my collective. Okay? We only give love. And that's the funny thing, right? Is like um for me that this person was just talking like making some really racist derogatory shit about Jews. Now I just want to say, just like I say like the dark overlords, the draconian whatever, reptilians, I want to come correct with this, okay? I want to come correct in this. Just like people like not all men, not all whatever, not every not every reptilian is evil. Not every draconian is evil. Not every Jew is responsible for the state of whatever's going on in the world. Just like not every American is responsible for fucking choosing, an orange fucking clown that is a pedo to still be there. I would say probably like the majority of the population wants them gone, but the old era, the third density, doesn't want them gone. You know, you hate these tests, you'll not take them anymore. You graduate. Well, here's the thing. I said this too because I was like, "Fuck this! You need to test me," and it's not. So here's something you got to understand. some people are testing you on a lower level, okay? Some are like galactic tests. So let's say this is why I relate things to like like the Harry Potter a little bit, because I like to try to put things in a bit so you guys can have a visual comprehension. Not everybody, some people are understand a little bit more, but for the general public to understand a higher comprehension is like, in Harry Potter they have the hat that they put on, and it chooses, right? It chooses which student goes to which crew, right? Whether it's like Hufflepuff or the Slytherin or the what, right? They figure out they figure out all the different houses, right? The different how this where this person is fitting. So the way that I can express it, if you're a chosen one, if you're a light warrior, it's like imagine they're doing tryouts, right? They're showing me the World Cup and I was like, what is this? What does this mean? It's like that. It's like imagine you're doing tryouts. Like imagine we're on this um imagine we're like on a galactic test, right? Earth is like Earth school. Like if you've leveled up and you're a higher level of consciousness and well, you're a super light warrior, whatever, then they're going to be like, okay. So now they're like, all right, well, my team, my team, my team. And then they're just like, all right, well, we got to see. And you guys just keep leveling up and leveling up and leveling up to where they're going to make a whole new position, right? They might be like, oh shit, you need to be like a lieutenant commander. I don't really know, but some of us are literally passing, like batting 1,000, passing with flying colors, right? To where it's like, are you part of the ground mission or are you in leadership position? And so if you really feel like you have something really vast to bring to the collective, they're choosing who they're going to have in leadership position, but also who is going to be able to choose, right? So, in school, when you had like dodgeball and stuff and you had to pick like who's on the team or you're picking teams or whatever, it's like that. It's like that. That's the best way I can explain on a third density comprehension level for the general public is that's basically like what it is. Imagine we're being hand selector, the Galactic Federation. Bra, ba, ba. Live and direct. Welcome back to the show. Our school. Who's gonna level up this week and who's out of here? It's like that. It's literally like that. But though it's kind of like almost like a spiritual court, like a cosmic court, you know. But when they show me the cosmic court, they're showing it to me in different ways, like court, like having a gavel or whatever, but like a court, right? Like you're playing on a tennis court or you're a basketball court or whatever, It's like how many rounds can you go? And they're not doing it. It's initiative, right? For some of you guys, it's an initiation. Now, for some people, there was people trying to run initiations from fucking Masonic or Brotherhood or Eastern Stars or whatever. It's just something that they do, and they do that. They do the hazing and they do the whatever humiliation. They do all of this shit. Now, the reality is you guys like where they're like, oh, you need to be humbled. You need to be humbled and subservient to our higher ways. And what they said, you were just like, access denied. They're like, you can't sit here, seats taken. And you're just like, sit on the bus? You're funny. We got the whole tour bus over there. I just dropped something over here. I'm looking for it on the ground real quick. Has anybody seen my special sparkly pen? I really love to write with that. And I gotta go to the tour bus. And they're like, their jaws on the floor because where they thought that they were more advanced, where they thought that they were ahead of you, where they thought that they could humble you, you just shoved that shit-filled humble pie right down their throat to where they choked on it. And they're just like, still trying to come up for air. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's like, that's what it is. Yeah, the Five of Cups, distance and ether. You guys are more connected to the ethers. And the way that you're doing that is by creating distance between you and these lower vibrational, these lower frequencies, right? Epic. Yeah, right? Right, Ymir? Or Ymir? Right? It's fucking awesome, right? And so yeah. You guys, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Good thing I'm a seamstress. No, a different type of sewing. Now, for some of you guys, I was hearing this earlier today where it's like, just remember that when they throw dirt on you, when they throw dirt on your name, that's how seeds get planted, is under dirt, right? When they try to smear campaign and throw dirt on you, you're now mud. That's where lotuses bloom from. These motherfuckers be out here like throwing mud, throwing dirt, and you're just like, oh shit, that's the last element I needed to grow was some of your earth shit. That's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. Okay. Okay, Ymir. God has informed you that you will become something great and you trust that right now. Yes. That's where we're at, is we're staying in this poised situation saying, we already know. Where was it? The Two of Swords upright. We're staying in this poised situation. Yes, we already know. We're just waiting for either the physical timeline to catch up to us, or we're just waiting to be phased out, like straight Mayan style, right? It's crazy. Yeah, you guys have already done the healing. You don't need to do more healing. It's like many of you guys, if you're here collective, you came as the healers. You don't need to keep healing. You came here to help heal the world. Michael Jackson, think about it. How much bullshit did that poor dude get, right? So much smear campaigning, and that fool over there, they tried to say he did this and he did that. And guess what? He was just like, nah, fool, I went through some crazy abuse and I saw all the weird shit, him and fucking Prince and all these other people that were trying to do, Princess Diana and all them that were trying to out here trying to save and help the children for the kids, you know and these people just running smear campaigns because they can harvest energy off of them, and they're like, oh, we got to get rid of them. Think about it. Like, Michael Jackson just dies, like Prince just dies, like John Lennon just died. Like, bro, hello McFly, like Bob Marley just, like, come on, guys. Yes, God sees everything. Our destiny can't be swapped because in the end, God makes the decisions if your magic works or not. And so many of you guys, that is a great point. Okay. These people that tried to cause confusion, illusion, these people that try to take this chance. Oh, I wonder if I could take a chance and take their destiny. Now, some of them were weird. They were able to do it maybe in the past. And so they're still trying to run these old cycles, right? But you guys, wonder or chance could be significant. The name chance, I don't know. But yeah, so it's like where you had options, right? Where you had options to fuck with the Three of Cups, where you had options to take all these things, you said no. Epically epic chat. Yes, amazing. Yeah, thanks for being here. But yeah, that's what it is. It's like, right? I wonder, they thought, oh, I wonder if I'm going to take my chances. Like, there's a lot of, I was picking up on this last night. There's a lot of people that are making bets, right? That are cashing checks, that are writing checks that their ass can't cash because they think, oh, for sure, I can bother collective. And the thing is they're trying to play some fucking game. And what they're not realizing is, you guys, spiritual pimp hand got reach. They got reach. Your guides got reach. They're just like, these motherfuckers think that they could do this. Wow. Psh, And these people are like, they're not one. They're wondering. They're like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, for many people, like when I woke up from a little nap earlier, I was like having this little thing and then I like fell asleep and I woke up and they were like, a lot of these motherfuckers ain't never experienced a real Hadouken and I think they need to. So I don't know who that's for, but Hadouken, you know, like that return to sender shit. And that's basically like what the guys are saying. They're like, oh, you wonder? Oh, you want to chance it? Let me show you what wonder and a chance looks like, right? Let me show you what that third party and that, oh, you wanted the opportunity, but here's the thing, you didn't work for that opportunity. You tried to take that opportunity that the universe already gave to somebody else, and you and these third parties tried to take this where they were able to before. They are no longer able to, and whatever gifts that they were given are now being retracted and given to the collective, which is crazy, right? It's crazy. Like, not only did they not get your destiny, not only did they not get your skills, not only did they not get anything that you possess, but now you get their shit. Plus, they get that shit back 10 to 100 fold. They're going to wonder that Hadouken is going to fucking like, I want to see, like, someone record that in real time, please. Because when someone gets that Hadouken and their ass goes through a wall or through a door or like it's knocked back 10 feet in a park and somebody has that, like, show me, come back and tag that shit in here because I want to see that. Because I feel like I saw it and I was like, what? I was like, no way. And they're like, bro, like, imagine if we're really in the space, right? Like, even in the movie Harry Potter, and I don't want to say whatever, right? But it's like, do you want to go towards a fantasy world or do you want to go towards a Terminator technological society? Now, I'm not saying that we won't be, uh, what do you call it? It's not saying that we won't be able to use technology or have technology moving forward, but it's like we have to understand that the elements and the energies and stuff like this are far more powerful than the man-made technology. Like, we are the organic intelligence. That computer is still, that was still made and created by a man, by men, by you know what I'm saying? We have the innate capacity to tap into the divinity within the divinity that's within you, right? And that's how we tap in to source directly. We don't need a middleman. We don't need a middleman. Unnecessary. We are the magician, the alchemist. Some of us are choosing to step into this, and some of us are choosing to try to gain clout or try to gain social accolades or try to whatever because they're promised you can become part of this coven or you can become part of this cult. We'll award you, we'll bring you in, and then everything will be good. You'll be making money and all this stuff. But the thing is collective, you withdrew. You said, oh, you gonna send some weird shit my way. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna alchemize that shit. Wapacha, Hadouken, and you just like, you took that energy and like you alchemized it, and then you're like, boom, here's some nasty ass energy fireball, boop, and we're gonna boop, knock that shit right the fuck out of you. You know, that's whatever. Yeah, people trying to manipulate a lie to God. That's what okay. So I was saying this yesterday. Like, people think they're so fucking smart, right? But it's like, your experience in this meat sack is temporary. This is a temporary experience. You are an infinite being. Your soul is infinite. So if you want to take this shit on through eternity, if you want to play a piece of shit individual, like, that is part of your character. And that's what the higher ups, the Galactic Federation of Love Light, your archangels, God, everybody is viewing right now. They're like, who's worth saving? They're, you know, like, you guys, we've seen this forever on movies and stuff like this, when they're just like, when the aliens come down and they're like, yeah, with peace and love, and can we get a hug? And then they're just like, we're going to do experiments on you and blah, 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 you know, weird shit. So basically what they're doing is they're like, all right, so the bad people we can take for experimentation, we can fuck with them. And that's why you're going to find people that are infiltrated. And that's why, yeah, Street Fighter, exactly. You want yelled Hadouken during a street fight? That's fucking tight, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like these are people for the streets, right? These are people for the streets, and you're just like, that's what I was singing yesterday, the Billy Joel, you know? Just like, I got streets and sidewalk fair. You guys are just gutter. You guys are just in the back alleys. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what survival is like because we've been doing this for many lifetimes. Like, before streets were even a thing, we've been a street fighter. You know what I was saying? Like, you know, the street fighters go back to like the ancient, like, spaces, right? And they're doing these crazy fights and it's like that. It's literally like that. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather imagine that type of future like Harry Potter, where we can do like tap into our highest human capacities and get rid of everybody that's like power, greed, jealousy, envy, smear campaign. Like anybody who did smear campaigns on other people, I hope they get just shit. I hope they get shit smeared on their face. Like they try to smear shit in other people's face, try to smear people's shit. So that's right, Hadouken. Fucking Hadouken that shit. Like maybe, but instead, maybe we should just change the prayer to like, instead of we were on to return that shit to sender, like transmute that energy, return to sender, Hadouken. You know, like next time you just feel some negative energy or negative vibrations or people coming near you or just like berating, just be like Hadouken. You know, and just imagine that, because that's what it is, right? It's this energetic ball of chi, and that's our energy center. And this is why it's so important to stay clean, sober, celibate, especially unless you have a super sacred energetic exchange that you have with somebody. Not like, oh well, I love them. No, if that's not a higher being that's helping you to your higher light calling, to your spiritual calling, if the person that you're with or that you're fucking doesn't put you in your higher highest of callings, that's not a sacred energetic exchange, period. If they're not helping you to become the best version of yourself, it's not an energetic exchange. It's a drain. There's, if the reciprocity, if you work more on their shit than they ever do on your shit, they're like, but I have to do all this other shit and you owe me. That's succubusing, incubusing. It's not reciprocity. That's not a sacred exchange, no matter what. Okay? Sacred exchange is honoring. And not honoring because, oh, well, that's somebody and they pay for my, no, bitch. No, that's not how it works. If you're not in that space, stay celibate. Why? Because your energetic center, your chi here, that's what they attack. And because, especially in men, right? Because for women, we have the womb. It's our womb space that they're attacking because that's the ultimate source of creation. That's what they're attacking. But for men, it's still here. It's still in your sacral. It's still in your solar plexus. It's your source of creation. And the more that you hold that, the more that you retain that, the stronger the chi gets. And you can literally be like, start forming it into an energetic ball. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. It's crazy, right? And you can pass the ball and you can feel the energy passing between people. And then you can literally fucking throw that shit and knock shit over. I've experienced it. I've done it with people like in real time, in real life. This isn't I'm on one, like this is real shit. Okay. And you can start doing it. You can start to cultivate your little chi ball and start imagine it. And eventually, when you start to do it and you're focusing the energy or the intent, from the palm of your hands, you'll start to feel the warmth. Then you can start to build it. It will start small and you'll start to build it and you'll be feeling it and you'll be feeling it and you'll be feeling it. And pretty soon, when we get to higher densities, that will actually be able to turn into a fireball that you can actually throw with the energy. That's real shit, like real life Hadouken. If you guys are into the Harry Potter and the real life Hadouken vibes, like let's level up fourth, fifth density. That means we're getting out of these old nature of patriarchal ways where it's power, greed, money, lust, envy, jealousy. We're like, rah, if you're out here doing the work, if you're karate kidding that shit, then like, whatcha? You're gonna be able to catch that fly. But if you're just like, there's no fly, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, okay, you're in third D, you're in third density. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it is. I don't know how else to fucking break it down, but it's kind of like what it is. Hello, Jerome. Past lives are real because God wouldn't delete a soul. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing is people don't realize like are you moving towards your north node? Okay, the little symbol on your astrology chart that looks like a little headphones, okay? Are you going towards your north node or are you retracting back into old lessons of your south node? Where your south node is will show you the lessons that you already achieved last lifetime. Now, if you're digressing, you will be going more towards that energy. Why? Because it feels comfortable because you already know how to do it. You've already done it. If you want to ascend, then you have to go towards the harder thing and you have to make the choices. That's like, oh, well, until I find a better partner, I'm going to be with a dumb partner. Like, no, you have to make a decision because you're blocking a better partner from coming in because you're telling the universe, I'm good with a dumb diddy dum dum. You know, it's a choice. It's a choice. If someone isn't in alignment with you, you should definitely not be, 100, 1000. Don't do it. That is lower frequency. That is reptilian brain energy, feeding, fucking, fighting, jealousy, hatred, envy, lust, greed, power, money, stepping on other people to get something for yourself. The people that are doing the humiliation rituals, the people that are doing the smear campaigns, the people that are stealing your shit, the people that are gang stalking, all those are in lower densities. They will be incinerated. Like there's going to be a whole recycling of the planet. And that's what they're here to figure out is who's coming with me? Who's who in the zoo? Who's the wild animals that are rabid, that are spreading viruses and diseases and whatever, because we got to take those out before it spreads to the whole thing. It's the same thing. If you had an orchard and one tree got a fungus or a disease and it started to spread to the next tree next door, you would cut down the 4 trees in that vicinity potentially. You would cut them down if it kept spreading. Why? Because you wouldn't want it to take out the whole fucking crop. That's what's happening right now on a macro and a micro level with individuals, with beings. So you fought the law and I won. That's right. That's right, Jem. Give it up. You want to know about a crazy fight? You got drunk, you went out to your dumpster and waited for a raccoon. And then he beat your ass. You're going back with bear mace. And that's some, what do you call it? Some, what is it? The Guardians of the Galaxy? Some fucking shit like this, right? And that's what I'm saying, right? Is these what we don't understand? It's literally like Men in Black. I'm telling you, because all of the people that are choosing to be like zombies, and that whether they're just staring at the screen or whether they're choosing not to wake up, right? Like a lot of the people that you see that aren't like, what the fuck? There's pedos running the world. Like, does anybody else think that there's something wrong? Is anybody else not okay with this? They're like, well, you're freaking out about that. You're like, why are you not? Like, what? Oh, okay. You're an NPC. Okay, now I understand. Your program only allows you to stay at this lower level. You're not getting out of the third density grid. Oh, okay. Okay. And stop being like, why won't these people, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm just like, if somebody needs to talk to me, call the actual fucking phone. Call me so I can hear your voice and see your face. I don't believe any text messages, any voice notes, any fucking anything anymore. If it's not from a real fucking physical that I can see, fucking slap their own ass and make it jiggle, or do a fucking truffle shuffle or something, like they don't exist. Like you're not real. You're not real, because in higher levels of density, there's no reason why we can't be like, yeah, even communicate. And it doesn't have to be so serious, right? We can drop jokes and stuff, but what we know is like literally like Men in Black or whatever, like Guardians of the Galaxy, right? It's like we're not the only beings in this whole fucking universe, but the choices and the things that we're fucking with right now, like eliminating the world, the global whatever, like nuclear war, all this, like this is signaled a big like stage 5. We're in stage red. Universe, we're going to need all the galactic fucking fighters down to the planet Earth, the prison planet, because these motherfuckers are going off we're going to need somebody. Infiltrate. And that's basically what's happening. And so we're going to see, maybe that there's going to be energies or entities or things like this that can actually start to hop through. And so this is the thing. That's what I told you, my cat. And I was like, just come here. Why are you going crazy? And she's like, da 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 da. And she's telling me, like, look. And I look, and the girl comes out and she's like, oh, this isn't. And the guy's like, but this isn't your name. Are you sure? And she's like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. I collect packages for everybody here. And I was like, oh, she's collecting my packages? Oh, that's tight. Because she's putting it in not her name. She's ordering fucking weird shit. But the reality is again, the law officials or whatever, the higher ups already know, right? They already know because they're being watched. They think that they're in because they're part of the corrupted government because this bitch is the fucking niece of the fucking Indonesian mafia or whatever the fuck. Who the fuck cares? Her fat ass is gonna rot in fucking prison just like yours. Just like yours. So anyways, um oops, wait, what? Religious text was written, okay? The Bible was rewritten by Constantine and King James, who before that created a book about witch hunting, about no, not witch hunting. What was it? Um actually like a book of satanic rituals before they produced the Bible. So I'm sorry, but you gotta go because you're bye because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Bye. Okay. Um, you have met God. God is real. Um, God has promised to make you famous. Like that's what I'm saying is if you are a light warrior, if you're a light being, you will become in the spotlight. You will become just like a star. Here we see it as famous, a star, but you will be coming right into like shining brighter into your light being, right? Like they've been showing me, they've been downloading me with so many different things. Um, excuse me, because like for instance, Bob Marley was a prophet, but does that mean that he was the best man that there ever was? Like, I'm pretty sure that, excuse me, he actually wasn't that good to a lot of the women that he was with, but he was still innately blessed, right? And that was his choice. That was his choice, his free will as being a human being, but he was getting downloads at prophetic nature, and that was his role here. He became that star, whatever. Maybe that's why he couldn't continue because of some type of karmatic balance or just people killing people, obviously. But in order for that to happen means there was something that was off, a karmatic balance that was off. And so that's what happens is basically karmic debt is having to be filled now. Karmic debt is having to be filled. So any type of text, you want to check a religious text, go check the Emerald Tablets. That's what all the religious texts were actually coming from. It's much older. It's much older. And yeah, I don't practice Abrahamic religions. I don't practice dumb shit like that. I preach Christ consciousness, not the religions, because Christ never wanted people to worship him. That's exactly the first thing that it says in the Bible to not do, worship man, false idols. But the whole world's on that because your religious text told you to do that. So, anyways, God, God lovers, maybe you should talk to God instead of letting somebody tell you what God wrote and how to worship. There's no middleman. There's no fucking dealer in the middle between you and source. The divinity is within you. I've sat with God many times, but you know what? Last year and the year before, God was very, very actually years before. When was the first time I sat with the fear with the probably in 2007 and then again in 2009 I had this really intense really like hour long Deemster trip and yeah, I saw divinity. I saw these eyes and I was like crying because it was so beautiful and just like this angelic nature. And like when it comes to me, it's 100% feminine because creation itself is feminine. It's not masculine in nature. Masculine never created anything. And so they were showing me that. So they keep giving me the downloads about like where things were missed in translation, right? Lost in translation. And this morning they were showing me this. They were showing me this, and they were just like, because I was like, God damn, like it would be cool to go to Thailand and to go somewhere and actually like be able to smoke some guns, like wow, like that would be the only thing that would make my life like more perfect right now than like having a nice place with a view and a boat, would be like some ganj. And so they were joking with me, right? Right? The guys were joking with me. They're like, yeah, yeah, Her Highness, yeah. They're like, did you ever consider that the Most High was only just a joke? Not a joke, but it's like the Most High goddess. And I was like, what? And I was literally like laughing. I was like, did you guys just get me ripped by osmosis on this shit? And they were like, ha 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 ha. Ha. And I literally felt like I felt so fucking I felt so lit. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, the Most High is not like highest pie in the sky, but like, and I was like, well, how does that even work out? And they're like, look at this, if the plant is coming from Canis Major and Canis Minor, but then it was cultivated because the Syrians are actually very intense healers and they work with the plant medicines and all this stuff. And then it was adapted and it was brought down to this planet for, it was brought down to the planet to be this medicine, to be this healing medicine. And so they're just like, yeah, but Lyran is predominantly feminine. Syrian is predominantly feminine. The Lumerian predominantly feminine. So they're just like, doesn't it make sense that the Most High wouldn't be God? And again, they're saying God is good, God is great. But if you say it not with putting space, God is good, God is great. But you could literally create spaces because when they were writing Bibles and when they were writing religious texts, they got paid per letter, per space, per word. So they just started rewriting it, making more letters, more spaces, and making it a masculine predominant. And then they were showing me like further things where they broke down. They're like, look at female, right? And I was like, what? And they're like, the male comes from female, womb man. The man is a manifestation of the womb. And I was like, what? And they're just like, everything that is masculine has come from feminine. Feminine, feminine. So feminine, man. And then feminine, right? 9 is the number of completion. The like I was like, what? They were like literally like I love the guys. Like they're super dope. And yeah, you're remembering who you are. Yeah. And so that's really important, right? You guys are going to tap more into stuff like this. You're going to be like, oh, wait, okay. Many of you guys have been different, in different incarnations. Even maybe you don't have that many lifetimes here on this planet. Maybe you guys have been Earth angels for a while, but maybe before that you were on different planets, right? And so a lot of people are like, I can't really remember that. But if there's lots of things that come to you just naturally that you started to do here, or that you really are just like, wow, this really like, goosebumps. This really like I it's like I've always known this, but I never actually heard somebody else say it. And now that I'm hearing somebody say it, it's like, this is too good to be true. Not too good to be true, but it's like, is someone like, are you reading my mind? And that's kind of what it is, because as we get to these fourth and fifth and these higher densities, we're operating on more telepathy, on the collective conscious, right? We understand we're co-creating. We understand that when we're creating, we're channeling. When we're in flow state, we're channeling. When we're doing our art, when we're singing, when we're making whatever, we're channeling and we're tuning into the greats, the ancestors, whoever did it before, right? And so it's really interesting. Cool. Thank you for subbing. Um, I look like Kelly Pickler, country music star. I never heard of her. Is she cute? Is she cute? She's hot? Okay, you're hot. All right, let's go. Hot sauce. You said a prayer to jump to the next level. Yeah. Now, the most important thing is imagining yourself at that level. And in order for us to do that, right? In order for us to feel that and to get to that space of not just visualizing, like visualization really helps with the manifestation, but also feeling that space. And the thing is a lot of the third density frequency likes to keep us disconnected from feeling that, from the imagination, right? And I say this all the time. I like if you look at imagination and you break down the etymology of it, right? I, magi, nation, right? So I am, I see, I create, right? This is our root chakra, red. Our root chakra, our base chakra is I am, right? I am, and then it comes up. I create, I love, I speak, I see, I know, I'm connected, right? So I, magi, a magi is a magician. Nation. We are a nation of our nationality is this magician. We are magicians. We have just been in this fucking illusionment, right? Like people are like, oh, well, the snake eats its tail. Like, no, that's where the demiurge trapped us. And I saw this dude, I forget what his name was, like, what was it, like Infinite Cipher or something like this? And I posted something that this track that he made yesterday on my Instagram, and it was awesome. And he's like, first we take the whatever the circle, and then we twist it, and it becomes an infinity, right? And it's like these are things that we can't conceptualize. We can, in a third D aspect, see this turn and become this. We can see that from a 3D aspect, but things that are happening past that, right? 4D and how things are, we can't really see them. We can't quite conceptualize them the same, but we can feel them. We can visualize them. We can, so as we kind of entertain that a little bit more, the more it starts to actually manifest, right? We are manifestation. That's where man came from, not woman coming from man. It's a manifestation. It's a live, living manifestation. And so the important thing is, you get in that space of like what it really feels like. And so I'm just like, yeah, like if I'm gonna watch some shit, like I don't watch horror stuff. I don't watch like crazy stuff like that. Like I love to watch fantasy, not because I live in a fantasy world, because I'm choosing to manifest our new world in a fantasy world. Like, wouldn't you rather have like fairies and animals and fucking mushrooms growing and all kinds of cool stuff like that, and like Harry Potter, like dope ass, like what was that other movie? The Amazing Beasts and stuff like that. It's like that. It's like where we're literally existing. And that's how I see, and many people that are mediums, right? And that have a higher level of sight, of seer energy. That's how we see, right? We're seeing these ancestors, these deities, these other beings, right? The same as like when the Men in Black is like put on the glasses and you'll see everything for what it is, and you're like, what? There's an old movie I think they made in the 70s, and the guy did that and he was like, what? And it's like liquid death, where it's like, cool, whatever, cool, 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 whatever. And the guy was like, what? And he looks down at the magazine and it was like propaganda, like whatever. It was all this stuff of how they were um programming us. And when he put on the glasses, it was like he could see everything for what it was. And so a lot of us are still operating from a different space that is like on this um it's like, well, when I see it, I'll believe it. I need the evidence. And a lot of what's going on right now is like, you don't need the evidence. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. You don't need the evidence. The evidence will be produced and the evidence will sort itself out. So, and that's the thing, like even though, yes, I want to bring victory in all of this. Right after that, you've seen this. Thanks for the confirmation. Amazing. Religion doesn't exist. Religion is opium for the masses. Spirituality, your direct connection. That's why my channel is called Divinity Within Thee. Not divinity within me. Not I am the most divine. No, you. Each one of us, I am you as you are me, and we are all together. So if you don't have the capacity to tap divinity without having a middleman, you know, it's like when people are like, oh, well, and this person is sober and this person is that. It's like, listen, I don't need a program like, for instance, AA or NA or something like that. Like, I have self-control, and I understand that if I want to go out for, let's say, a New Year's or a celebration or something like this, and if I want to have some champagne, or if I want to, party a little bit with my friends or whatever, like, or smoke some fucking cigarettes or whatever, I can do that. And the next day and the next week, it's not going to be an issue for me because I have self control. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I'm an addict. Like, bro, what? Like, no, no. And, people are like, oh, well, it's only on the weekend, or it's only like, bro, like, whatever. For me, I only do it when I'm really like celebrating with friends. But really, I gave up spirits and alcohol like so long ago. It's just something, and everything actually, um, even cigarettes, everything. And it's a very interesting path, but it's because I don't want any exterior entities or attachments coming to me. And so that's a choice. That's a personal choice. But I do notice a lot of people that are part of the collective that are having more awakenings, that are getting more clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance. What's happening is we're in Western cultures, and a lot of these signs or signals or things are considered or labeled similar to like what schizophrenia would be. And it's not that, right? It's where awakening, like if you were in tribal communities, that would be considered an initiation to be a shaman, to be a medicine woman, to be a Dalai Lama or a fucking Buddha or something, right? Like that would be the position that you would take, because you're like, wow, all of a sudden I'm talking to the higher ups, not just God, but the aliens and the ancestors and uh, and so many of them, it's like they're looking for their team leaders. They're looking for their spokespeople. They're looking for who's actually out here, and anybody who's willing to turn somebody over to level up. And I don't mean like you, collective, where you're just like, all right, well, I gotta not go back because these people are narcissistic. I don't mean like that. You're not turning somebody over you're not stepping on somebody's head. Those were their own choices. And you're like, listen, that's pretty toxic because you're attacking me. And so I can't deal with smear campaigns. I can't deal with humiliation. I can't deal with the stuff. Like, if you want to have a adult communication conversation, you can give me a call on the phone like a normal and speak to me like a normal adult. Otherwise, we can't communicate. And literally, I had all of my messaging apps are fucking blocked. That's why I'm actually happy that today that landlords came up, because she's like, we've been trying to message you. I was like, oh yeah, my stuff has been blocked. Like in the beginning when I said I have to take a minute, I was like, yeah, sorry, they hacked, right? And until they're doing it because they want me to reset the devices, because then it unlinks all of the people that have linked up and have been hacking and cloning and doing all of this. So the guide said, don't worry, you're going to be getting another new device very soon. And that's why I don't have this stuff actually connected to the other new device, because it's literally like what do you call it? Some of you guys may be going into witness protection, right? Where some people are basically thinking like, oh, you guys are losing it. You guys are fucking paranoid, schizo, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, actually, I'm just noticing pattern recognition and seeing that these people are doing weird things. And now you guys it's like also like higher operations are looking. So like, let's say you have like, again, like MIB, right? Like Men in Black. Let's say that they have access, they have people in these higher organizations, and they're using that access, right? Like CIA, FBI, like whatever. they're using that access to be able to do testing or to be able to watch you and to be able to be like, huh, okay, what? Because that's what they're doing is these higher galactic beings, whether they're your archangels that are helping to put you on your path or actual, you know, extraterrestrial beings, right? They're here to assist. They're here to assist the raising of the grid of the collective consciousness. And many people can't, like, their small minds can't pick up on it. They're just like, oh yeah, okay, like, sure, you're hearing voices. It's like, no, I'm not hearing voices. Since I was a child, I've had open communication with the dead, like that movie, The Sixth Sense. I see dead people. It's been ongoing since I was very small. This isn't new. I'm not schizophrenic, okay, you guys? And I have all of the amazing brain scans to show that I have no mental, no personality. Well, actually, I have ADHD. I have ADHD. ADHD, which in a little bit of like OCD, right? So I like things to be whatever, but definitely not autistic. Definitely no schizophrenic. Definitely no bipolar. Definitely no BPD. Definitely no multiple personality. No MPD. No, none of that. That's all these people running smear campaigns because they don't want your voice to get out. They don't want the truth to get out. And those are the dark overlord order. So be aware, um, you guys be aware of that. Um, your intuition, but no Bible. That's right. God, like there's no middleman to you and source direct. You can tap that. That's what your energetic, that's what your chakras, crown chakra. What did Christ swear? The crown. Why? Because your crown chakra point, when that is open and it's not blocked, you're connecting straight to source. Hello, McFly. God took you to heaven once. So you know it really is waiting there. Yeah, it's like the thing is like there's like I joke about it that we're kind of like on a prison planet a little bit, but just while we're in this third density grid, like this place is actually really beautiful once you get to like fourth, fifth, sixth, you know, eight tenths densities, like how like, oh my God, you guys, like it's a utopian dream, like, whoa, and it's all existing here. But we're in this holographic grid of, and the more that people are like, no, I have to work because I have to get money, and you have to do this because I have to get money. Like there, I'm sorry, but you're stuck in first, second, third density. You're stuck because you're in fear. You're in fear. Yeah, look at the Seven of Wands. Look at there's your raccoon. There's your raccoon, homie. Persevere and endure. Some people just want to keep being like, I'm just gonna keep working for nothing, and that's what they love. These overlords love to feed on that. They love to feed on people that do shit without question, that follow the system that is corrupt without question, that just keep going and going and going. They love that Energizer Bunny. But the thing is collective, you guys are in this mode, but you're energizing your batteries up because you've removed the external people that are seeking right now. People that are really needing external validation. Okay, if you're seeking or needing external validation or whatever, um, you're not doing your work. All of the highest vibrational light beings right now are, I wouldn't say hermit mode, but they're definitely in self preservation, because we understand that we have to charge the chi, we have to charge the battery up all the way. So we're not going to be participating in large group things. We're not going to be doing that because we understand that that's where they siphon a lot of the energy from. So we're going to sit here and be our and letting that light and that love and that frequency and that chi and that Hadouken ball fucking really charge up. So when the shit comes down, we're just like, Hadouken. It's like straight out of pocket, like, Hadouken. Like how Spider-Man flicks that shit. It's like, boop. You're just like a fucking magician card trick, You're just like, Hadouken. You're like, but I didn't see you do the whole, like, no, I didn't have to. I just had to pull it out of my pocket and be like, flick, Hadouken. I don't know. I don't really know, but that's how I feel. You can see that I'm real. Thank you, Jim. Yes, I am very real. I Um, so anyways, that's where you want to go and smoke. Thailand, the most high. To be honest, I mean, I come from California, so there's a lot better whatever. But for me, like Thailand's pretty close. Um, and they brought a lot of the stuff that they brought over there was from like Cali and from Cali, Amsterdam, and like I think like Afghanistan. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, they brought different seeds that they've been cultivating and stuff over there. The problem is the market flooded. But the thing is it will be coming back. So what we're going to be tapping into is basically a lot of people that have been experiencing, for instance, if you had, people that are coming out of like toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse, um, addictive traits, addictive, whatever, if you're coming out of that, a lot of the light warriors, I was posting today on my Instagram, a lot of the light warriors, the light beings that are coming up, the chosen ones, like we have some crazy backstories. And so we're going to start to see how people are holistically healing, how they're getting off of these prescription meds. We're going to see, what did this girl post today? Oh, we're going to see a lot of people talking about how SSRIs made them like zombies, right? And then there's so many people that were put on these medications to snub their light out. And so we're going to see a lot of people basically going back towards organic healing, organic medicines, and all this other stuff. So let's just call it out, right? Legalize it. Don't criticize it. Legalize it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we will advertise it. Doctors smoke it, the lawyers too. Policeman smokes it, yeah, yeah. Even my God smokes it. Yeah, dude, the Most High God, bro. What? Like, what if the best way for you to actually tap into your highest frequency is to tap, like, literally these plant medicines that bring you closer, get you closer to God, you know? Right? Right? I don't know. Like, this was a download. There, I was like, they had me laughing, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I never felt so, like, I literally felt lit. And I was like, how is this even possible? And they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe, like, just keep that going. Keep that. Like, what do you want? You want to heal the world, make it a better place. That's right. You love God, right? Yeah. You've been a stoner your whole life. At the first time you saw Zigzag Man, you were like, wow, you didn't know Jesus. He smoked in there too. But here's what I'm saying. Okay. So a lot of this, you guys are seeing that, what is that? That ultra shit that the government been doing for a long time. The when I started, actually, when I was getting the channel last year and I was receiving, I was like, what the fuck? And I know that they were doing that. They do it to a lot of the chosen ones, and why they do it, and they do it, and they create these smear campaigns to make the chosen ones look schizo, or to unalive themselves. And they've done that. They've done it to like professors or whatever, and you're like, they didn't just commit unaliving. They didn't just fucking freak out and jump out a 20-story window, but actually they did, because they were using these fucking things. So here's what I here's what I comprehended when I went back and I saw something from this, maybe it was like from the 70s or something like this, 67, or I don't know. Anyways, um, they were basically saying they were trying it, but then because of some of their research study, people were actually like stoners, right? They weren't able to. Those were the ones that the mind control wasn't able to come through. How about that? How about that? That's some shit. That's some shit. So, anyways, yeah. So it basically, they have like literally like studies, and I'm pretty sure the CIA like has them, like they're released to the public and stuff. And yeah, they talked about it. I mean, I went down a rabbit hole. I found different videos and stuff of these people. They're like old recordings of these people talking about it, and they're like, yeah, what we basically found is that that it only worked, that the mind control manipulation worked only on the patients that weren't intaking the cannabis. because the cannabis does something to where it's boom, 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 boom. So imagine if it was like this plant was given to us, brought from Sirius B to be this healing plant and blah, 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 right? Because even if you look at the old stuff in the Mayans and like these old carvings where they're working with the aliens and stuff, they have pipes. Like the shit that's carved on it is a pipe, bro. Like what? I think that they weren't just smoking the ganj. I think they're also, like the deems and like the Aya and different things, the Changa, all of it. And they were doing it. They were using specific plant medicines to get, and even the what do you call it? The Native Americans, right? They've been doing that forever. They're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna take the peyote buttons and we're gonna boom boom, and they're gonna go into the desert. And what do they have? They have the vision quest where the ancestors come to them and give them the download of their life's fucking purpose. Like, hello, they're trying to keep us disconnected from it. But all of this is he told you he smoked. That's what I'm saying. I was like, what is inspiration? Inspiration. Like, and think about it, because a lot of the prophets, like even, I mean, let's just talk about Bob Marley. Most every household, like most people know, even if they don't know who Bob Marley, they heard a song, they know who it is, like, ah, yeah, Rastafari, jobless. Is it jobless or jobless? They were like, you guys are lazy and job. It's like, are we, or are we talking to the straight divine? We don't know. Or do we? And this is where, again, things can get lost in translation, because if people were talking about certain things, but they were talking about it from an old way of being able to describe, then but yeah, but the divine, like God, spirit is got a good sense of humor. Good sense of humor. Like humor is like laughter is the best medicine. Like it literally hurts me because like I have all this nerve damage on this side, and it hurts me to smile so much sometimes. It's like literally like God, feels like I'm getting punched in the face, but I feel it, right? Like because laughter and this joy is the best medicine. And that's why they want to keep people in these smear campaigns and these humiliation rituals, because if they can make you traumatized, they can feed off of your energy. They can feed off of your blood, off of your life force energy. And when you play into that, you're basically making a deal with the devil. So if you participated in that and you try to get money for that, you made a deal with the devil. That maybe wasn't a good call, but that's your fucking karma. That was your free will. You're willing to hurt somebody else to make money? That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, I wouldn't do that. Thanks for that connection. You know what you mean. Yeah, that's what's up. Yo, Floyd, they live. There's a lot of fantasy beasts and magic out here in the world, but they are hidden from muggles. And that's pretty much what it is, right? And the more you start, like that's why when you're in tune, right? Like I was telling you guys maybe like earlier this week or last week or something, and I went outside and we were sitting outside and I was like talking about the grasshopper and about just like saying about the different things that are bringing us messages, and and Jiminy Cricket was talking like all this shit, like all this stuff that was created in movies isn't just from wild imagination, right? Like even Star Wars, right? We're in this place where the Empire is trying to strike back, whatever. But the light and the dark and the this and it's like what it is, right? Are we letting the darkness overcome, or are we, which side are we on, right? Stormtrooper, stormtrooper. No, but for real, like, where are you at, right? Like, and so when you see these little beings or these little creatures, and then like the next day when I came out here, I came back and there was like this bright, bright, super green. I posted on my page, um, grasshopper, and I tried to get a picture of it like 3 times, and it had to go. It was like, nah, I got to be on an organic piece of material before you take my picture. It was hella funny. I was like laughing at that grasshopper as well. But anyways, I was like, "Can I take your picture here?" And he's like, "This background's whatever." And so it hopped, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Here." He's like, "Nah." And he like hopped over to this like very like what do you call it? It was like a woven like organic, like I think it might have been like a hemp or something like this. And he like jumped on it and was just like, "All right, here, I'll pose for you." Even like turned a little bit and shit. Like I was like, "What?" But that's the thing is like, are we communing with nature? Are we open to seeing this? Or are we just like, oh, that's just a movie. You watch too many fantasies. Like, bro, um, I would rather live in a fantasy than this fucking hellscape of your current third density reality. Thank you very much. But you're right. They're hidden. And you're right, Floyd. Giants are real. And that's the thing is the giants are reawakening, right? And they don't understand is like how they cut down all these trees and like boom, 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 boom. But like a lot of the giants are asleep. And even in Hawaiian tradition and stuff like this, you're seeing the same thing, right? You're seeing that the what is it? Tahuti and the mama and all this, they're falling asleep. They're falling asleep and they're becoming, sorry, I got to plug this in. And they're becoming part of the landscape, right? Because they're like, all right, this is how we protect. Like a lot of our older ancestors and stuff like that, they showed me a long time ago. A lot of them went into the ocean because this is a water planet. And so the whales are basically our really, really older ancestors, right? So like when the fall of Atlantis happened, a lot of the people that were stuck on the ego, that weren't protecting, but they were stepping on other people, they now became the protectors of the world. And so then like the dolphins and stuff like that maybe are like also kind of like that. And even though people like they're crazy and they'll like, they whatever, but they have bigger brains, they have more intelligence. Look at the octopus, bro. Like for sure. Like um we're still, we're not that, we haven't evolved that much, like let's be honest. So this is our next global, um our global evolution phase. Yeah, giants are real, dwarfs are real too. I mean, bro, the dwarfs didn't phase out, you know what I'm saying? Like just imagine, right? Like how I not to be a dick, but like how Wizard of Oz was, how they're like hiding in this little spot and they're like in all the little flowers and they're like boom. It's like this, like all these different like little tribes and these different things. And dwarves are real. Yeah. The elves are real too. There is small ones, but there's also big ones, like the Elvians from Sirius. The elves that are from Sirius, Sirius A, Sirius B are more, they're looking more like the elves from Lord of the Rings. They're more tall, they're more slender, they live in like um treescape areas, right? And mer people and fish people, like that's Lumerian, Atlantean, right? Those also came from Sirius before they came down. Like a lot of the different species, like when different planets and stuff were eliminated, they came to Sirius A, to Sirius B, to Sirius C. And so a lot of things were cultivated there. They still brought the plants, they still brought the medicine, they still brought, and then they came and they basically, I explained the earth as, or they gave me a download. I'm sorry, they gave me a download as to how to explain the earth is basically like as a botanical garden planet, to where they try to collect all of the best species to complete the thing. And so that's kind of what we're here doing, which is really interesting when you think about it. They're just like, yeah. And then they showed me this video, and I've seen this video before, but it was like this guy talking about how they did this mouse experiment and they put 4 male and 4 female and there was no predators and there was as much food and whatever as they wanted, and like eventually the male mice like cared more, like they put like a mirror or something in there, and then the male mice cared more about the grooming, and then to where they didn't want to be with the women, and the women were like, okay, we're still doing this, we're still doing this. And then the women stopped producing, they stopped breeding with the male mice, and eventually the males started dying off, they started doing each other, and then they started dying off. And I was like, wait a second, is that how it was on this planet? Because everything was free when we got here, and then we decided when man came into power, we're going to need capitalism and power and money and greed and to sell you the land that you got for free. What? Wait a second. Wait, what? And we're just like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Ron Burgundy. Like what? And yeah, it's crazy. You want to go to Thailand with me, you have intelligence. To bathe in the Jordan River, that would be tight. 15 minutes till dinner here. at the psychic ward. you got you got are you in a psychic? Are you in a psychotic? I just see psychic. That's funny. Are you in a psychotic ward, Ymir? Are you? Men in Black is based on true. Well, here's the thing. Where they're getting all of these informations, where they're making all of these movies, like the things that are happening in the future and stuff like this, a lot of them are tapping in to other timelines, to other realms, and to just things that they're seeing. They're foreseeing things that are happening in the future, and so they're getting the guidelines. And yeah, it's part of what it is. You met lots of spirits. Do you know about the Shroud of Turin? I do. This sounds familiar. This sounds really familiar. I think I do. God charges the batteries. Hello, reply. Like nobody else is charging that for you. You're not going to a church. Like the churches and the temples were created as sound healing sanctuaries. Even if you look at how they're built, like they're built for the sound to come full, and the sound is what heals, right? Everything is sound, vibration, and light, right? And how I healed a lot of things out of my body was by doing bioresonance. So every organ of your body has a resonant frequency that it's good at, right? So let's just say, I mean, I don't know the actual fucking numbers, and I'm not going to lie about that, but let's just say that your skin health is like normally at 100, and then they go and they see that it's like at 20, like you may be having like breakouts or blemishes or eczema or something like this, because it's the frequency, the resonant frequency is off, and it's due to other frequency disruptions. Maybe it's what you're eating, maybe it's medication, maybe it's radiation, who really knows? But everything has a resonant frequency. And so to heal our bodies and to really get there is sound. And so all these old cathedrals and churches and stuff were built for them to chant, to do the chanting and the sound healing. You see them, a lot of the old stuff are like the caves and stuff like this, and they, you know, they're basically they resonate the sound, and they're just like and like all the monks and shit, what are they doing? They're chanting, you know, namero ringeko, namero ringeko, namero ringeko, and they're doing it, and that vibrational frequency, even the throat singing, just like the Maori are doing the didgeridoo and stuff like that. It's healing because it's like realigning the misaligned, the things that are out of vibration. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's definitely, we're getting the batteries charged. Jam, you're from California. That's tight. California, man. Yeah, California. We just got the best weed, the best wine, and the best woman. But you know, I'm from California too. Wymere, you are from Finland. Okay. Are you in a psychotic ward? The spiritual psychosis you pray. I don't have a spiritual psychosis, sweetie. I don't have a spiritual psychosis. Just narcissistic abuse, just like the script. You called it out. Hadouken, that's right. That's right. Yes, they sure the freak did. Hey, Amanda, these motherfuckers been fucking around these things the whole. Yeah. And that's what you. If you're a light warrior, if you're a light being, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, you're a little. It's like, no, you're not a little. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been talking to dead people since I was very small. Not like I have an imaginary friend. Now, a lot of the children that do have imaginary friends, they're actually talking to spirits or to dead people or to higher level beings. 100%, because they're seeing these little animals or these little friends or these little things on other frequencies. It's just not all of us have high enough, like, okay, so a lot of people that come here that are what is it called, HSP, like highly sensitive people, highly heightened sensitivity beings, highly sensitivity people, right? A lot of us that are more highly sensitive, we can see many times and tap in to realms and frequencies, right? Like some Harry Potter shit, like the Fantastic Beasts, where other people can't because it's not part of their gift. They're maybe they're just here to be on lower densities. Not everybody. People have different gifts, right? For sure. Not everybody is a seer. Not everybody is a psychic medium, right? I'm a psychic medium. I help do exorcisms. I work with different spirits. I go to different places in the planet and clear like where there was like genocidal murders and weird type of shit, and I clear that energy for those generations to go free, to basically let them out of a purgatory state. So I have no level of psychosis, sweetheart. I have a really divine calling that most people can't conceptualize because they don't believe anything that isn't third density matter, because only 3D matters. Okay, patriarchy. Patriarchy's dead. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's what they've been doing. And literally, if you're a light being, a light warrior, an indigo, anything like this, especially if you're indigo, right? You're gonna see a lot of it. You're gonna see that they pushed a lot of us into this psychosis state, into SSRIs, into addictions, and to a lot of maybe substance abuse, maybe just because they wanted to snub out the light. And it's almost like a lot of the indigos were almost like part of these experimentations on some level. And so a lot of the newer people, they really can't conceptualize that. And the older people, they really can't conceptualize that because it was classified. Yeah. The classification was like, a higher level. And they're just like, oh, well, we don't know that. Just like the aliens are gonna come. Like, bitch, they've been here, bro. Like, what the fuck do you think the whole area, like, what do you think the government is doing all this time? They're scared because you guys aren't quite bright enough to understand that you're not the most intelligent being in the fucking galactic universe. Like, you know, I be talking to the Galactic Federation. I be talking with the Mantis. Do you understand? Like, it's crazy. And when you start dealing with that level of communication, it's a whole nother thing. And most people can't wrap their head around it. And it's okay if you can't, boom, all good. But Jesus was a man. He was an ascended master, just like myself. I've been an ascended master in many lifetimes. Jesus was taught under Sophia. That's why I changed my name to Sophia, right? Because it's divine wisdom. It's Christ consciousness. And what Christ did is he went around the planet where he was guided by the higher beings to go to unlock different grids, who led by Sophia, to unlock this different grid work, to unlock the grid of the Christ consciousness. Now we're at another point in time. There's no man coming to save us. Man, the manifestation of divinity incarnate, which is you and me and all of thee, right? It's about the Christ consciousness, the grid of the Christ consciousness re-emergence. And that's where we are, because we've been in the Kali Yuga. We've been in the dark ages. We've been in the dark phase for so long, where we're just killing, fighting, feeding, fucking. And that's what it is. And the sooner people can understand that, and understand that, like, patriarchy and organized religion and all that shit was rewritten by men and people that are created books for fucking necromancy and witch hunting and shit because women were healing with plants. And they're the same people that created, oh, wait, what's that? Oh, pharmaceutical and all this other stuff, because they couldn't create what Earth created, what creation itself created. They had to synthesize it. That's when they started working with synthetic materials, synthetic medication, synthetic. And that's what we're on. That's what AI is synthetic organic intelligence. You're like, it's artificial intelligence. Like, it's in the name, artificial intelligence. And people are like, it's so smart. Everybody that thinks artificial intelligence is so brilliant is like, you're already a dumbass in my book because it's made by man. And if you just tapped into the collective conscious, the same as people do, and you're just like, oh, you just do some meditation and you're just like, can I tap this? And then you just like get the download, just like the Matrix, bro. Like you can plug in. It just takes you not being high, not being this, not being hateful, not being greedy, not being lustful, not being all of not whatever, and to sit with your meditation and to be like, thank you, archangels, thank you, ancestors, thank you, guides, thank you, most High Goddess, can you give me the download? Because I could use some clarity. But how it's going to come is not going to be the same way that you think it's going to come, right? Like, they also depicted angels as little boy cherubs, but that was also the church because they're pedos. Angels are fucking large beings of intense light with tons of fucking eyes looking crazy, right? But because they wanted to change it, they made them all little boys with their little dingle dongles because they're a bunch of fucking pedos and they're harvesting the divine feminine energy. Even the Vatican is built on top of Isis's temple. That's where the organized religion and the Abrahamic religions and the powers, they're on top of the goddess temples. That's where they're filtering all the energy through. And that's going to end real fucking quick. Too sweet even. So mote it be. So yeah, you just gotta know, dude. Tobacco was the first thing we farmed as humans, exactly, and that's why Carlos Castaneda. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, and that's the point, right? Like the Native Americans and a lot of these older like Amazonian religion tribes and stuff like this, they're all using the tobacco. It's sacred. It's sacred. It's not that it stopped being sacred. It's that we started spraying chemicals and artificial and making it, again, marketing it for money instead of using it as sacred. And everything that they've done, even they made the terrorist group called ISIS, when really ISIS is one of the most powerful goddesses that could bring people back from the fucking dead. Hello, McFly, are you still stuck in the simulation? Because it sounds like it. It's time for everyone to wake up. It is, but here's the thing, Amanda. Everyone isn't meant to wake up. Many people, part of their contract was to only be here in third density. And see, okay, so let me break it down so you guys can understand. Everyone knows the Rasta vibe. They enslaving everyone every day. Everything you thought was true is not. Truth is so fucking, yeah. And that's the point, right? So here's how you're gonna, so just to kind of get in on that, right? It's not that everybody needs to wake up. And the reason why everybody isn't gonna wake up, Amanda, let me just break it down for you, is because they're meant to be there to be for us, for the light beings to be like, they're cool with pedophilia, they're cool with rape culture, they're cool with what? What? Because that contrast of this is so heinously disgusting is letting you know who is an NPC, who is running with the dark overlords, draconian orders. That's what's going on. That's how you can tell. If people aren't upset about it, if people aren't whatever, and they're still like, but we're voting, like we're staying on the fucking Trumpty Dumpty train because we don't want to be wrong because we chose him fucking 3 times. Like instead of saying, okay, I'm going to take accountability here, right? This is the narcissist grid where they're like, we're not taking accountability that we've been contributing or that we're still continuing to contribute to consent to this heinous, dark overlord shit. And so they're there not for us to wake them up. They're there for us to realize they're like only 2/3 of the population will become food, soil, or fuel. How that works out, I don't really understand. I'm not trying to ask them a little bit deeper on that. But that's why they're trying to figure out who's worth saving and who's gonna be tilled back into the soil. Let's just put it that way. And so they are a necessary component. They let you know who brings clarity. It's like what was that the Terminator clip. I showed this before, but it's like the Terminator clip, right? A clip, and you know, the little boy is with Arnold, and he's like, but I gotta call my parents, but I gotta call my parents, I gotta check in on my parents. And so they're at the payphone, and they call the parents, right? And he's like, blah blah blah, and his mom's just like, well, when are you gonna be home? Yeah, we're waiting here for you. When are we gonna be home? And the dog just won't shut up. The dog is just barking and barking and barking and barking and barking. And Arnold is like, she's like, but when are you gonna come home, honey? He's like, is that the dog? Is a dog barking like that? And you know, Arnold's like, what's the dog's name? You know, he covers, he's like, hey mom, hold on 1 second. And he covers it, he's like, what's the dog's name? And he's like, the dog's name is Max or something like that. And he's like, hey mom, he's like, what's going on? You know, and he's playing the boy's voice. And you know, Arnold's playing the boy's voice and he's talking to the mother and he's like, hey mom, yeah, what's going on? Is that Wolfie? Is that Wolfie in the background barking like that? And she's like, yeah, that's Wolfie. He's really upset. I don't know what it is. When are you going to come home? He's probably missing you. And he was like, soon, mom, soon. And then he just fucking like hangs up the payphone and he's like, but that's my, and he's like, they're not your parents anymore. They've already been infiltrated. That's basically what's going on. Like literally, that's what's going on. Literally, figuratively, physically, it's what's going on. So you got to understand that some of these people, because they didn't choose, like let's say they chose to attack the chosen ones, they chose to try to destiny swap, they chose to try to unalive, they chose to run smear campaigns, they chose to do weird shit like this. In that process of doing that, right? In that process of doing that, basically of attacking, it's like, let's say God gave you a blessing. You're like, oh, I could really, God, I really like, can you bring me a new house and blah, 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 blah. And then you get it, but you weren't very specific. And so you get this new house and you're like, well, this isn't really what I wanted. You're like, well, you didn't specify. And you're just like, well, I don't want to be here. And you're just basically like, in God's eye. You just spit in God's eye. Like that's what all these people are that are going against, like if these people are chosen ones, if they're chosen as to be a prophetic in nature, right? Light beings, light warriors that are chosen, that are protected, that have like fucking crazy spiritual protection, like myself and probably like a lot of my collective here. If you are chosen, if these people do anything to hurt you, to make you cry, to harm you, to take, to smear, to any of these, they participating, it's going to come back 10 to 100-fold on them, which means if they try to like if they try to be like, oh, this person, like whoever this was saying like, oh, you're schizo, like, bro, I'm not schizo. Like that's not something that comes in 6 months to 6 years. That's something that happens over years. Like that's not, you understand? Like I had all those tests run. Now, who was paranoid, schizophrenic, BPD, OCD, I'm sorry, BPD, bipolar, and manic was my ex's girl. She's from Poland, Finland area where you weirdos are from. And her name, she goes by Mad Maddie, but her name's really like Agatha, some stupid shit like that. And you know, she's from Poland and she had all those problems. So before they try to set me up, maybe either she was acting crazy to try to pretend to be me, or they tried to run the same thing on her and they tried to unalive her to collect some money back from her wealthy parents, potentially also. But whoever's running those doctor things, that's not my shit. That's not my paperwork. Those are forged. And if you're spreading lies and information on forged information, you are part of the deprivation of character and you will be charged accordingly on the physical and on the spiritual. So be fucking ready. Bend over, spread those cheeks, grab those ankles, because this year is going to be the wildest ride in the wilderness. Yeah! Buckle up, bitches. They're not they are enslaving, but this is a choice. This is free will. This is what I'm telling you, Amanda. This is a free will. You inherited a spot at their table this year, and had no idea what you were doing, and you're not sure what's going to happen, but you have God working through you. So this is part of it, right? Like what they were saying is like, okay, so what they showed me last night, Amanda, what they showed me last night was something very interesting. They were basically like, they're like, listen, there's going to be smear campaigns, there's going to be all these people, like you don't need to justify, right? Like you being in your truth and you knowing is fine because we know, you know. Like for me, I'm just like, whatever, I can submit a hair follicle test, can you? I can submit date, times, record, I can submit everything. And that's why if I was really doing these things, like, I'm sorry, but the country that I live in would have already come and arrested me. I live in Indonesia. I live in a Muslim predominant country. If I was doing anything weird or putting that I was doing drugs or was fucking mentally off my rocker, they would have already locked me up. Do you know why they haven't? Because I've already turned in all of the shit to prove otherwise, you dumb fucking idiots. Remember, the Most High Goddess, Kiki, the universe, the universe. So the reality, Amanda, is some of these people, that is their choice. They chose karma. They chose greed. They chose money. They chose trying to hurt somebody else to get something that was not theirs to begin with. And that shit's gonna come back like Die Hard with a vengeance, like some crazy shit. Totality. Totality. What is that? No, it wasn't totality. Futility. The universe. Wholeness. So in order to get the universe back to this state of wholeness, anybody that isn't part of this, anybody that isn't standing up for what's right, anybody that isn't that doesn't understand, right? Like the reality is like the aliens are here. They've been here. They're gonna continue to be here because there's people like fucking Trumpy Dumpty in office and dumb motherfuckers that have been in charge of shit that are just taking people out, trying to keep people trapped. And that's what she's talking about, is they're taking people slave, but it's to their own choice. They're choosing. They're choosing to stay addicted. They're choosing to stay in that loop. They don't want to ascend. Not everybody gets to ascend, just like the Mayans, how a whole civilization just disappeared. There's two parts to it. First part, the righteous ascended. They ascended. The others that were left were incinerated. No trace. Boom. Done. That's what's going to happen to this planet. Either we're working with it or we're not. And a lot of people are making steps and motions forward. So a lot of people will be spared. But again, it's only going to be a very small amount. A very small amount. Like 2/3 of the entire Earth's population will not be ascending. That's it. That they chose that. They understood that in their contract when they made the contract to incarnate in this Earth planet. So you like how you pick up on the details, yeah. Yeah, who is this? Rana. Yeah, if you don't love yourself first, you can't love anyone else, period. Edward. I live in Indonesia. I live in Bali, Indonesia, and I am from Sayadari, California, California. I've been here for a very long time. I like to be here because if I was in other cultures, if I was in more Western predominant cultures, they'd be like, okay, schizo bitcho. Like, but here they're just like, they love me. The priests, they're called monkus, the priests, the high priestesses, like all of the spiritual people, like they come to me like, I had a high priest last week buy me fucking food to eat. He's like, anything you want, anything else. He was just like, you're very spiritual. You're very connected. I talked to, talked to the gods. They told me to treat you Bro, like you're gonna tell me one of the oldest religions on this fucking planet that all of their high ups like respect me as a high spiritual being, but people with actual psychosis that are like, Jesus, bro, I'm sorry, not sorry. That's why I live here. Because here they're just like, oh, you talking to the ancestors? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Like I have them. Like they come up and they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you ask my ancestor? I've been doing the praying and putting the offering, but can you ask them? And like, boom, I'll just do like a quick channel for them, and they'll be like, "Wow, that's crazy. Thank you so much, suksuma, suksuma." You know, like they're grateful. Like here, they practice light magic, and they also practice black magic. They also work with a 13 lunar cycle, and they have a different type of calendar here. So they're locked in like Hindu, but it's the Balinese Hindu is it's very specific, very special, not just like Indian Hindu. So yeah, it's just a thing. I'm full of knowledge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're in tune with the frequency. Your guitar is tuned at 432 hertz. That's what I'm talking about, that love light frequency. And here's the thing. They did this with manipulation. They did this when Hitler was in, they changed the frequency from 432 to like 444, 442 or something like that. And when they changed that frequency, it made people become erratic. And that's what they're doing in the music industry, even in the frequency, blah, blah, blah. So literally, some of us are more awake. Look, it gives me, oh, look, it gives me goosebumps. Yeah, Jen, that's what's up. Yeah, so little things like this that we can do to say, I'm going to remain in this higher frequency. And I understand that even though there's things higher than me that I understand or don't understand, okay, like when I started this channel and I was like channeling and I was doing all this, I was just like, oh yeah, people aren't really like, they can't really get down completely with like extraterrestrials. They can't get down with unseen energies and spiritual beings because it's out of their scape, it's out of their mental capacity. So instead they treat it as a mental disability when it's not. Actually, we're far more in tune. And there's these hypersensitive people actually have, like, they can tap into heightened senses. I was looking, somebody posted something about this the other day, and they were saying it's about between 15 and 18% of the populace is actually super hypersensitive, like a highly sensitive, like HSP, highly sensitive people. And and they're actually picking up on many things that we can't. Now, if you start to go to the higher level of spirituality, when you unlock higher levels of spirituality, you'll see the Buddha and you'll see a lot of these deities, and they have all these snakes, like a, not like a crown, but like they're protecting them. And what that shows is, yes, they have this higher spiritual protection. The snakes aren't evil. The snakes have more than six senses. For people to need to see something in physical, their density is only our five senses. I have to see it, I have to smell it, I have to taste it, I have to touch it, or I have to hear it. If I didn't hear it from a fucking fake ass preacher, then it's not the word. Like, that's tight, but just because you're not in direct communication with higher level beings doesn't make me schizophrenic. It just makes you lower level. That's it. Your lack of, people's lack of understanding, right? Like that's where the reptilian nature, the feeding, fucking, fighting, right? They want to fight. Well, you need to find Jesus. Like, bro, Jesus and led him all around the world. That's how he became an ascended master. That's my brother, bro. Aloha, my broha. Like, what? I don't need to find him. He ain't lost. What the fuck? Motherfucker was never lost. It's the consciousness. You got 33 vertebrae, and your Christos oil goes up the vertebrae and hits your pineal gland, which opens you the same as a Deemster trip to have direct connection to higher realms. And tell me how, even though everybody believes the Bible, but everybody that had a Deemster trip went to same places and seeing same things and talking to same beings, and they're like, that's fucking real. Thousands of them. I believe the people that had the experience that are all not knowing that the other person and still reporting the same shit more than I do a text that was written by somebody who, what was it? Demonology. Demonology was the book that they wrote before they made the King James Version of the Bible, bro. Why don't you fucking do some studying about your religious text? Because I bet you're gonna spread those butt cheeks and be begging for some lube real fast, because you're gonna figure out everything they told you was a fabrication to keep you stuck in the loop of servitude. We're not servants. We are made in the image of God. We are God. We are divinity incarnate. You want to talk about schizophrenic? You believe that there's a dude in the sky you're talking to. At least I'm talking to beings that I know are existing in ulterior realms. I'm not making them up. They're real. Some guy floating in a fucking cloud, like, bro, you know where their ships are cloaked in the clouds. And imagine, because they're such high, like, let's say they're existing in 7th, 10th, 12th, 16th density. They're light, right? We are light beings. Hue, man, manifestation of light. Hue is a realm or phase of light, right? Hue, man, a manifestation of a light being. Boom. Now we're here, right? It's not man and woman. It's man is manifestation. People manifest, which means first it was a thought and then it became a thing. So anyways, the reality is if they're these higher level beings and they're in these higher realms, then wouldn't it be accurate that if you were to see them, that their light would be so extensive that it would be like glowing like a halo, or zzz, and they'd be like, oh, this thing came down and it was so bright, like it was blinding us, but all we saw was this radiant light. Like, that could just as well be an alien, bro. Because if the angels actually came down, I believe they probably would have scared the shit. They would have been alien in nature to human beings. Like, bro, people just don't really think. They're sheeple. They were told it, and this is the way that it was, and this is the way that it will be, and they'll just keep it going that way. That dope just made you see through the exactly, bro. Neo, exactly. It's a pleasure. Great from Uruguay, beautiful lady. Thank you. Hey, Vic. Welcome back, Ymir. Love you too, Jem. Thanks for the love. Hey, lady. You're star. You're my star too. We're all beautiful reflections of each other. Yeah, fatality. You know, like, bro, like we gotta laugh, right? We gotta laugh. We gotta be playful. And we gotta understand that a lot of these ideas that aren't dark and demonic and, like the zombie apocalypse, people are like, oh, they're gonna be eating each other, they're gonna be eating each other's brains. Bro, what do you think is happening in the governmental, like, did you not, they're eating the body and the brain and the baby and everything. That's already real. Already real. People are already just staring at their screens and like already real. It's just how the people decided, like, imagine it's just an artistic not improvisation, but it's like an artistic expression of what they saw when they got to look into the future. And so they're just like, okay, I'm gonna make it like this because it's more interesting like this. Because they're like, okay, now zombies are like brains. What do they want? They want brains. Now think about it. All the people that are asleep are do, right? We're like, are you seeing this? Can you think, like, what? Do. Okay. Brain. I wish I had a brain. I want brain. Like, now if you start to see it and you're like, wait a second, now I can't unsee it, because they are zombies. They're asleep. It doesn't matter. Like, you could pretend to be like whatever and then just be like, like, bro, they're already eating people. Like, that's real. People are already like disengaged with one another because they'd rather fight each other on a phone. Like, anyways, whatever. Like, it's just information. It's just information. It's just feedback. It's just information, and what you choose to do with it, what you feel connected to it is what is meant for you. What you don't feel, what you don't resonate with, it doesn't have to be for you. Not everything that you feel or don't feel, and is kind of that. It's just your choice. What does this say? Your mother was a terrorist because you are the bomb. My mother was kind of a terrorist. She was a bit of a little fucking Nazi, What is this? What are you saying? Oops, sorry. What are you saying here? Peace, love. Jesus is the code word for ISIS. It's the Christ consciousness. I don't believe it's a code word for ISIS. I believe that some of the Jewish scholars that later rewrote some of the texts were actually named Yeshua, or I mean, Jesus or Jesus or something like that. And that's where it kind of went down, because before it was Yeshua. Jesus was never, the translation is actually not correct, which is funny that it's gotten that far. But whatever, because Jesus, Jesus, this is a total different part of the globe where that name is even coming from. Peace in the Middle East. He was from. Like, what? Do you guys even know? Do you guys even know where he was from? He was also brown. He was hella brown, bro. Like all the white people out here, like Jesus, like bro. He was brown, right? And y'all fucking killed him, right? That's tight. We are all the creators. Yes. Yes, we are. It don't hurt nobody to live in harmony. You're right. You're right. Man is a manifestation of his mother's strength. It's so womb man. The man is a manifestation that is coming from creation itself, which is the womb. Just like I said, female. Male is coming. Man is coming from woman. Male is coming from female. Like it's literally going that far back. And that's the funny thing, is like where they made God a man. It's not that. It's just the closest thing that you can really connect to is basically like Father Sky, right? And this is the energy, right, of the air of the cosmos. But when you go back to creation story farther, you realize that when they created here, even when they created Lilith, was before Eve, and they were both created from clay as equals. There was no inequality. That was the first man, Adam Mel, who changed his name to Adam somehow. But anyways, he became, he expected Lilith to be subservient. She's like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go down. And so she basically, brought down a legion of angels. And people are saying like, oh, you're a fallen angel. No, you're not a fallen angel. You did not fall. The fall was the understanding. So there's a consciousness level. And as we come into this planet, right? As we come to this planet, there was a veil or a grid, and they kept us here, like again, in this lower torture planet. And so what they did is they came here to kind of awaken, to save the children, right? Even that's why Lilith went back as the serpent, because the serpents have the higher sense. If serpents are not evil, and again, that's where the patriarchy made them evil. They are some of the highest. Like, okay, so Nagas are known to be these serpent creatures, whether they're coming from the land or from the water. But here they're also known to be dragons. And these are the ancients. These are the giants. These are the old primordial energies, just like I was telling you in Hawaii, where they see them lay into the islands. The woman is laying into the islands or whatever. It's like this. And we're going to start to see some of these old giants kind of awaken. And as that happens, what was that? What was that? Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk. You guys ever? I don't know why they're showing me this. Because he planted the seed and then it grew up to the heavens, right? And he climbed and he climbed and he climbed this huge tree and whatever, this huge vine, and he got there, and that's where the giants lived. Now, the reality of that, it can be pretty good, like if you saw like the gods or whatever, like even on this planet, like a lot of the stuff that was created was much larger because as you're in higher levels of density, your height actually is increasing, right? We're still in human, we're still in human state, so we're actually very small. We're actually very small, but a lot of the initial beings that were here started much, much larger. So when people are like, how did they build that? What was this built for? For giants? Like, yes, because before they were much larger when they used to inhibit. You understand? So, but also like whatever, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. You watch Jack the Giant Slayer all the time. What is that? I'll have to check that out. I'll also have to check out what did you who said this country music star. I'd have to go back and check that out too. I gotta see who was saying that. I want to see what this girl looks like. I want to see what this girl looks like. What does she look like? Um, before I hop off, before I get rid of this. Maybe I can't see it. Oh, Kelly Pickler. Okay. I'll go check it out. I'll go check it out. Like, do I look like her or is she out there as one of my copycats? Could be, could be. A lot of the industry and stuff, like, and as you guys literally opening your throat chakra, speaking because they want to take you out. They don't want you to be able to, and like they've been harvesting our energy, especially if you're a light being, an indigo, star child, whatever, if you're any of this and you have a bigger mission, they have been harvesting our energy. And that's how a lot of the people in the entertainment industry and stuff like this, like maybe you were psychic, maybe you were seer, maybe you were foreseeing tragedies that are happening. Maybe you're maybe you had a real voice that was supposed to be had. And so they've been harvesting off of that, right? The entertainment industry, especially in Hollywood, is real dark and real nasty. So, we never know. We never know. Like, do I look like them or is this a copycat that's honing life force energy? We don't know, but I'll go check that shit out definitely. Anyways, guys, I don't want to leave this video too long. So I'm going to hop off, but just know that, it's about how you respond, right? If people are out there and they're calling you crazy and you're like, no, but I know this, you're talking to the wrong people. Okay. If people are being judgmental of you, like here's the thing. Someone was on here and was like, you're being super hypocritical. No, bro, I'm channeling. I'm channeling. Like I channel information that they tell me to say. It's not my job. Like as a channeler, as a conduit of messages, like prophetic messages that are coming directly from higher sources down, right? It's not my job to fluff it up for religious people to feel better. It's my job to deliver the message. I'm the fucking messenger. How you respond to that is all on you. It's just information. It's just feedback. Like it's just information. You need to choose how you choose to respond to it. That's it. That's not me. That's not you. That's whatever. And so, yeah, but if something, you just got to realize if people are trying to get you back in these narcissistic traps, if people are trying to do humiliation rituals or smear campaigns, like, and you guys just are like, you know what? I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed. Um, Thank you, Jem. You have given me what I needed to hear and I vibrate with you. You're just like me. Thanks, Jem. Where in Cali are you from, Jem? Are you from the no-co or the slow-co? Or the so-co? Where are you from? Um, yeah, and that's what's going to happen is we're going to find more people that we vibrate with to where we're not feeling where some of these ideas where we're like, oh, you're the normies or you're the muggles and we're like the whatever is going to be less strange. It's going to be less strange. And these people are going to be seeing it. And I guarantee many of them have already seen it to some extent because they're getting, like I said, the long arm, the spiritual pimp hand is strong. Spiritual pimp hand is strong and it's got reach. So these people are getting their lessons, okay? And it's going to happen within the next 24 to 48 hours. Riverside, motherfuckers. That's what's up. You went to IE. You went to Inland Empire. Okay, okay. Um, So anyways, yeah, you guys are literally gonna you're just going to have to figure out what is in alignment and what is not in alignment, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your body. Somebody was tuning in last night and they were like, but I just feel, it's like every time I forgive them I feel really sick. And it's like, yeah, because your body is physically responding to your nervous system saying you know. So um that's a reality, that is an actuality. And we just have to be aware and just not let it berate us, because there's going to be a lot of it, because it's like something that they do talk about in the Bible is, in the end of the days, the evil Satan will try to get everybody from the light and try to get as many souls as he can. That's what's happening. Okay, that's what's happening. That's about the most accurate thing about right now the Bible that's actually occurring. Is that's what's going on. Okay, all these darker entities are trying to keep it down, because if there's enough of them that keep the light beings in this lower grid frequency, um then they can keep going. But if enough of us are actually awake and we're like, you know what, I can't go for that. No, no can do. I can't go for that. No. And you're just like, then they don't have a hold. They're trying to get their little hooks, their little teeth, their little chain into you. They're like really on that stuff. They're trying to attach those spiritual cords, those spiritual fucking hooks, and keep you in that state. And the reality is, it's a choice. Either you feel it and you entertain it, right? Like just what's going on in the government. Like, oh well, but Trump really means good. Like, where? When? I'm sorry, but no. I'm sorry. If you have children and you support a pedo, you shouldn't have your children. Your children should be taken away. End of story. And end of fucking story, because you need mental health. You need mental health. You can't say that you care about children, your children, or any other children, if you keep people like this running our fucking shit. The end. The end. Basically, either you're about dark overlord, like evil, satanic, ritual, dark overlord, people that are hurting children, eating, whatever. Either you're on the underworld or you're on the light warrior. But you can't be supporting people that do this shit and be an angelic being of the light. You're not righteous. You're not righteous. Yeah, and incest. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. You're right. You're right, lady. Lady says 29. That's what's up. But this is the thing. You can't be like, well, but if we just get rid of a bunch of the other ones and not that, like, and I'll be real with you guys, okay? Can I share this? Please, can I share it? Can I share it? Okay. So I want to be real, because I've been going back and forth for days about sharing this or not. And a lot of people are gonna, like, I may lose a lot of people on this, but months and months ago, okay, like, I don't know, in the beginning of the year, okay, like 4 or 5 months ago, I was at this spot and they were trying to do like this weird stuff, and they were bringing all these dark, like, people, all these like demonic and people that are having like these little, all these, trying to be buddies with me, trying to get me to party. And I was like, whatever, like, I'll hang out with you guys, like, like, sure, I'll have a drink, like, I'll make one drink of absinthe, I'll hang out with you guys, like, I'll I'll party a little bit. And of course the ganj, like, of course you're gonna be like in on it. But anyways, I was there and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And this guy showed up. This guy rocked up. And we were having this conversation about this and that and about the files. And not about the files, because I think this was before they were releasing all of them. Um, and we were talking about it, and we were like, oh yeah, well, he didn't really die, we believe that he's wandering around and he just like took another body or something like this. Now, I can tell you, oh, I'm straight on the money, of course. I can tell you, like, I did take a picture with this dude because I thought it was weird, and then I was like tripping out on it for fucking weeks afterwards. But anyways, we had this whole conversation, and this dude looked like Epstein, like a much heavier set version, but literally like Epstein, but he had um like he spoke French. And so anyways, we had this whole thing. And so what he was breaking down to me was basically like he was coming to me to ask me because I was like, all these people need to tell the truth and they need to apologize and blah 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 blah. And he basically was like, listen, he was like, I don't know how to say it, but like I've been a reporter and I've been doing this and I've been collecting all this information to to create all these stories, but also it's like also like as a not blackmailing, but like a little bit, so it's like so what I picked up on is that actually it's like when he found out, like let's say he was writing a story and then he found out and they're just like, we're gonna fucking either you can help us or we can sacrifice you. And so it's like instead he took the road of documenting, of keeping all of the records and documenting. And that's why it's the Epstein files, right? Because they're all of the files that he kept on all of these people that he was cataloging and documenting, right? And so he was like, well, there's a lot of things and there's a lot of bad, like horrific things that happen to children. And he literally asked me straight up, well, don't you think it's better that if people like maybe didn't know their story or like because some of the stuff was really dark and really heinous and I've been trying to figure out like, and he asked me straight up. And I was like, that is their right? That was their free, like if their free will was taken away from them, then their story kind of needs to be exposed. It needs to be shared if you want to balance things out equally. And we sat and we went down to like a little club on the beach and he bought me food and we were talking to people like, you've been talking to this guy for like fucking 2 days straight. And I'm just like, yeah, all good. Because he was interested in my story, right? And he was telling me like all these different things. And you know, um basically it's like imagine if you were forced, and he was like, yeah, but if I tell the story, if I share these stories, like he was like, I'm scared. He was like, how do you do it? He was actually coming to me and being like almost in tears, like, how do you do it? Looking up to me, like, look at it, it gives me goosebumps. How do you do it? Because he was like, what if you want to do the right thing, but you know that there's a lot of other very powerful people that can hurt you and do that. He's like, I understand you've been experiencing it, right? He's like, I see that you've been experiencing it. And he was like, what if you're scared? And I was like, you have to do what's right. If you want to actually have that forgiveness, then you need to actually do what's right. Okay? You actually have to, and you have to let people make their own decision because with hidden information, especially when there's children, when there's people that have passed, it's a little intense, right? So you have to kind of free that energy. And I told him that's kind of what I do sometimes, is just sharing the information that was withheld to kind of free those spirits or their souls. Because what happened is he was like, well, what if all these weird children stuff started coming back and haunting these people and doing all of this stuff? And he was like, how do we fix that? And I was like, by telling the truth, by telling their fucking story. Even if it's not each individual, like you have to tell the story. And he was like, okay. And I was like, are we cool? And he's like, I know what I have to do. He was like, a lot of people aren't going to like me and I'm going to have to keep, but he actually downloaded me straight up. He downloaded me. He was like, you got to do this and you got to do, he told me, this is how I move around so they can't find me. This is how I do this. This is what I suggest you do. Bing, bing, boom, boom, ba da 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 da. And I was just like, okay. And I had to sit on it for days. And to be honest, you guys, he may have been stuck in the middle, but I don't feel, okay. I feel that it initially started as something that was interesting and he started to create the stories or whatever, but he was getting paid and I don't know. I think that there's a lot of money that has been being sat on for quite a lot of time, but I don't know. I've gone back and forth on it many, many, many times. And I was like, but was he actually raping and molesting these children? It was like, no, but he was providing the space, and it was like, yes and no, they were using him. So imagine if somebody was blackmailing you and then it was coming back. So I feel like just in a weird sort of thing, if you end up like whoever you're saying, hey, um, the truth is paramount. Yeah, Jim, the truth is paramount. And the reality is if you are like, okay, I know that this might make me look like a piece of shit and the whole world is gonna maybe want to kill me, but the reality is, right? That's what every great prophet or religiously or whatever did. They said, listen, here's the real information. Take it. What you choose to do with it is now on you because I've gathered all the information. Here is the truth. And now we're putting accountability. So even if this person didn't be like, well, I did it, right? They created accountability. And now there's all this accountability, but now we're at this other place where other people weren't letting him or aren't letting all the accountability or all the truth come out. But the reality is we don't need all of it. We don't have to keep undoing it. Okay, yeah, release the files, that's great, but the reality is here's the thing. From what I can tune into, there's a few reasons why they're not releasing files. One, yes, they're protecting some people. Number one, yes. Number two, there is a higher like imagine if we're dealing with galactic neighbors, right? There's a higher level of intelligence and organization that's actually still monitoring and trying to catch these people, watching these people, like gathering the evidence that they need. So by the time all of it goes, if they try to burn anything, if they try to do any of these weird things, by the time the rest of it comes out, they're basically now recording them all doing it. Does that make sense? So some of it is blocked. We don't need all of it. We don't need all of the files to come out to actually make the decision. They're like, listen, this is what's happening. What are we doing about it? But because I'm very innately in tune, when I felt this person's energy, it was like he was like so happy to meet me. And I'm like, am I one of the escapees? Ooh, damn, my whole body has goosebumps. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's quite possible. I stopped doing my hypnotherapy and stuff because there was a lot of really, really, really dark shit that I was unlocking, and I wasn't sure if it was all from my personal experience or is me tapping into the collective childhood wounding. And so that was so I kind of stopped doing that. But that's part of what it was, is a lot of the children and stuff that were abused and things like that, they may have turned them back over, like maybe parents were selling and trading and doing whatever, and they may have turned them back over and put them through like Men in Black, where it's like zapping the mind, but putting them through some type of hypnosis or some type of something programming. Like, do you guys remember that movie Zoolander, right? When they're just like, and they're when they play the song, what was it? Relax, don't do it. And he's like, oh, and it's like bing bing, kill what a prime minister, like that's the vibe. It's like there was a lot of people, a lot of children, and a lot of especially where they're like maybe they were a part of the gate program or different things like this, and they were doing this crazy shit, and it was kind of like deleted. Or maybe there were some people that got released, or some people that did a deal or something like this. I was getting like a hard thing, like whatever, like a biting somebody's dick off or something, where it's like they try to stick it in my mouth and I bit that shit off, straight off. So and again, maybe that's part of, like, maybe that's somebody in the collective, maybe that's part of your story, and maybe that's why you have a lot of fucking money that got paid that you never got any of, right? uh to keep the kid dumb, to keep the kid quiet, to keep them abused, to keep their memory dislodged or whatever, something like this, right? Who really knows? But um I try not to go into those super dark spaces, but the reality is he went back and forth with me for a bit, like, but if I do this, everybody is going to think that I'm the bad person. I said, yeah, but do you know, like, are you trying to bring justice? Because if you actually care, he's like, I just initially wanted to make the story about the kids, and then I got too deep in it and I couldn't get out. And I don't know what to do because these people, they don't want the story shared. And yeah, Jem, that's what I said. I said, fucking do it. Just do it. Because if you want to be spared by the Most High, if you choose to be spared, then it's by saying, listen, I'm taking accountability. I know maybe I was hanging out with some crazy people. I know maybe I was hanging out doing sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or maybe I was hanging out and doing some, like, but I've, you know, I've repented and I'm taking accountability and saying I'm now in devotion to a better new world and a new era. And I know in order for that to happen, we have to eliminate the parasitic and vampiric shit in nature. And I just think like, yeah, like, bro, I think it's very heavy, but I think that, a lot of people are putting it all on him when really he is just he's the 1 degree of separation. And you got to look at it like this, like Prince and Michael Jackson and like John Lennon, like all these people in the music industry, Kurt Cobain, all of them, right? Were going around. Yeah. And that's what I told him. It's the only way to free them and to free yourself. But it's like they were going around, and the more information that they saw, like, remember now it was who was it? It was like, um, Kurt Cobain. There was like four main musicians, right? That were like um, really well known, and they were creating the documentary about the children. Like the same thing was happening, right? Like Prince was collecting all of this information, he was doing it, he was showing the party, he was literally like all of this stuff was in there, a lot of it, right? The same thing Michael Jackson was doing, that they were freeing the children and he was taking them to know, and he just got berated, right? He took the rap. He took the rap because he was the one out there saving the children, but because all of these dark, sinister Chris Cornell, yeah, that's I was thinking. I was like, who is the guy from Soundgarden? Yeah, but they took the rap. They took the rap. Like for instance, Courtney Love. If you read it's in the Epstein files, she got fucking paid. She got paid to off Kurt Cobain. What? Totally makes sense, but they made it look like a suicide, and this is what they do. Because if you actually go back and the crime scene, there's no possible way, if he was doped that far up on heroin, that he could have fucking shot himself. Like it's not even possible. He was on like 10 times the amount, like even for his own blood levels. And there's other people that were like, oh yeah, she offered me to do this, and she offered, because she was in that, and she was bringing children, and she was doing all this stuff because that's how she wanted to get her fame. And so she fucking destiny swapped. She's like, oh, I'm going to become famous and take his stuff because he got all this fucking money. And then he was like, I'm going to break up with you. Like 25 million. It wasn't like a little bit. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to kill him for the 25 mil because now we have a kid. And so anyways, the same thing. Michael Jackson was saving children because he was so traumatized as a child. He was like, I'm going to create a happy place because these children have been traumatized. Like, here's Neverland. Like, let's stay in a fantasy world because I know that what's going on in the real world was really fucking traumatic. Just a thought, right? Just a thought. So before we're so quick to judge, like, when was that whole because they created a whole library, right? They created, like, Donald and Epstein created that whole library or whatever. They put it out there with a lot of the files. So the reality is even though they've shown it, people are in such a disillusion that they're not doing anything about it. And that's how you know that, if people are more interested in fighting you over Jesus or your religion, or I'm this and you're that. If they're literally smear campaigning, attacking, or doing all this stuff, and they're not trying to communicate, if they can't communicate with you like a normal human being, they're probably already been infiltrated. Like it's just a reality. And they're meant to stay in a lower frequency, a lower density. And not everybody will wake up. So just get used to it, guys. Just understand that if there's people, if your best friend is, fighting or hitting his girlfriend, or if somebody else is raping theirs, or somebody else is, abusive to their children, whatever, just know that you have to start eliminating those people, because you're basically being, whether it's you doing it or not, you're concurring with that energy. You're condoning that behavior. Chris had 260 million before he died. After he was gone, he only had 60. That's the point. That's my point. So for me, I'm like, all these people coming after me, like, who's my daddy? Where did I come from? And how much am I worth? Because to have all these motherfuckers on me like white on rice, like flies on shit, not for nothing, is it? Not for nothing. But I already know. I already know. Purple rain, motherfuckers. You know? And that is the reality. But yeah, so some people, like you said, Jim, some people decided to say, okay, if I have to omit the truth, I'm going to omit the truth and I'm going to take the accountability. Now he did. They're his files. They were released as his files. He basically took the entire brunt of the rap. And the fucked up thing is, I think that they were just filtering money through him, keeping him paid off to not off him. It's totally what I felt from him. Like I felt not just like a scared child, but when he was talking to me about them, he was just he was like, but you don't know some of the things that they were doing to these children. Like it was, I don't think it was an act, maybe a little bit because it's gone over time, or maybe because the guilt is setting in. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, the reality is everybody, whatever you've done, you're going to have to take accountability. And if you don't actively take accountability, then the divine is going to step in and you're going to be that karmatic justice is going to happen, you know, and that is part of what it is. And so, to each his own. Just make sure that whatever you're doing, whatever information you're taking, like that a lot of us are going to be in these positions of um not like an informant or but kind of like some of us are higher level spiritual informants. And so they were showing me that they're like, listen, if everybody knew who you were from the beginning and you weren't put in these different situations, they're like, they basically show me like this. They're like, okay, if you're like if you're like some type of informant, right? Then when you go into these darker, sinister situations, right? Like let's say you end up somewhere and everybody's smoking weed or doing something else, you're like, oh, they're like, you gonna do it? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna get fucking shot? Or are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. One of us. One of us. You're gonna play along until you can find a fucking outro. And so a lot of people don't understand that a lot of these light beings, the our starseeds, our indigos, and stuff like this, that's how a lot of us got trapped into different phases, into abusive relationships, narcissistic, maybe addictions or other things like this, is because you had to go through and experience that, or you had to go in order to illuminate, like who was it? Hecate, right? And also Lilith. They went to the deepest depths of the darkness. Why? Because if you're the brightest light, where is it most vital? In the room that has no light, not in the daylight where the sun is shining, correct? If you want to illuminate, if you want to help bring the light to the dark, then you go into the middle of the dark and you say, and the light, and then all of the shit comes to you and you have to deal with it. All of these shadows and everything are coming towards the light or attacking the light because they don't understand it or to try to snuff it out, whatever. But to stand in your light, in your authenticity, means people have to take accountability. And when people don't take accountability, when people can't have a human conversation, that means there's something that they're hiding. There's something that they're hiding. They don't want to take accountability. So they're manipulating because they're withholding part of the truth, part of the information. Consequences, that's why you're here. Yeah, many of us light warriors are here as we're like the watchers, right? We are the global like scales. We are like the Anubis. We're like, listen, all right, now we're waking up. We're the watchers. And the watchers are a lot of fixed signs. So if you're a fixed sign energy and you are a light being, you're probably one of the earth guardians, the earth angels, the watchers that help restore the imbalance to the planet, which means if you're dark and you're negative, then rinse. You're not, you know, you're a Libra. You're the scales, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. My anaretic degree is in Libra, like 29, 27 in Libra, which means this is a like pivotal changing. And literally, when I started getting, when the transit happened last year, it was like, and they're trying to off me and they're trying to dose me out and do all this crazy stuff, the fucking ultra mind shit and all this bullshit. And my guides are like, and fucking AI Atlas came down and I was like, oh, the Soul Fam finally. Oh my God, you guys, where have you been? I've been down here fucking running that fucking help to the earth forever. And they were like, do 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 do, and they rolled up. They fucking like a comet and everybody just like, And so, anyways, when I went through this transit, I was like, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, I totally understand. Like, we're here to bring the like full balance to the entire Earth grid plane. And so, if you're not uh, addressing it, and if you're not saying like when people are like, oh well, you're right and I'm left, or whatever, dude, it's the same fucking bird flying. Do you like money, power, pedos, and the dark overlord order, or do you like spiritual light warriors and love? Because you can't be supporting this based on political. This is not politics. This is our fucking, the extinction of our species counts on this. Like, I ain't going extinct. I'm out here doing God's work. God is great. God is good. Gotta shake the ass like she knew she would. What? look at the etymology, bro. So anyways, step into your power and realize that anything that is not in alignment, you have to let kind of go away. You're no longer in alignment. You're now. So, and again, if people can't communicate, if they can't verbally, physically communicate, if they're stuck in a digital only, they're most likely trapped in the draconian fucking loop, the snake eating its tail. Exactly, lady. Yeah, get out of there. Like, I had to do it. Like, a lot of people like, I can't believe you. And I was like, you can't believe me. Like, the nice narcissistic abuse. Like, they beat the shit out of me and disowned me and told me I couldn't be there when they told me you can come here. And I was there, went to that side of the world for treatment. And I have no place to live, no vehicle, they disconnected my phone. They did all this crazy shit when I was like, here's money. I want to change my phone to my own line. They blocked it for 2 months. I couldn't even call. Nobody could call me. And I'm out there like fucking home, like this is the humiliation ritual. This is what they like to do. And so you got to fucking rinse them out. You got to understand that's their choice to be. They chose that. That was part of their incarnation. And it was part to push you into your highest timeline, to get out of that narcissistic loop, that abusive loop, the sick shit loop, because they're feeding it and they're feeding off of you. And as long as you're in concurrence, so you have to say all the way no. And what is meant for you, what is in alignment, will enter or it will return if needed. Yeah, politics are only designed to divide the people. That's why people that are still like Trump and I'm like, bro, you're fucking you're 2D. You're talking in 2D. You're talking in just separation. This or that. I can't. You just went through the same thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like many of us are going through that. And but we have to understand that we chose to be in a situation to elevate us into our highest potential. And if we didn't have these psycho fucking people, then we probably wouldn't have done that. Do you understand? We wouldn't have come as far as we did. We wouldn't have stepped into these powers because we would have been more comfortable and we would have been like, okay, it's the people that are questioning the system instead of attacking each other. So if you have people that are attacking you instead of the system, instead of the patriarchy, instead of religion, instead of, whatever, then again, they have already been overtaken by the draconian overlord order. I'm just saying. And again, not all draconians are bad, right? Many of the draconians actually help to save some of the last species of Lyran before the planet Lyra was fucking blown up. So I'm not going to say that they're all bad. Within anything, there's a lot of good. I'm not going to say that everybody in the governmental system, I'm not going to say everybody that follows organized religion is fucking evil. But if you're taking the sacrament and you're eating the flesh and you're drinking the blood, you're participating in a satanic ritual. Merry Christmas. Oh, wait, that's a pagan holiday. Oh, yeah. Anyways, it's just a little bit of information. It's just information. Do with it what you will. But as always, guys, I appreciate your presence, your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I got a $5 reading raffle going on. The information's in the information box below. I'm giving out 7 25-minute sessions. There's a little video. There's another link to my other YouTube video. It's like 10 minutes. It's not super long like me all the time. It's like 10 minutes, maybe telling you just the steps of breaking it down. But yeah, $5 also if you have a question that you want to be answered on live. And once I get 25 people, I'm giving away 7 25-minute sessions, which is private, personal, one-on-one sessions. So whether it is, whether it's for a reading or to channel past people that have passed on, or just to help you, get some more guidance, clarity for your soul's purpose, or whatever. Yeah, $5 or €5 is pretty fair for a 25-minute session with me. It's a good value. Condoning makes you just as guilty. That's the point. That's the point. And so if you're not upset about it, then you're condoning it 100%. 100%. If you know that somebody keeps drugging and raping somebody, or is trafficking, or is grooming, or is a handler, or is abusive, or is stealing, from somebody else, or you're participating, or you're the lookout, like, you are condoning that bad behavior, and you will be. Listen, Neptune, all this shit's in retrograde. Like, you guys, from now until the end of the year, you're gonna get that karmic retribution. If you are a good person, you may get something good. If you're a shit person and you've been condoning shit people and shit behavior, you're not going to get something that you're going to like. It's going to be a real grab your ankles and pray, because God's not listening. That's who you're being. Like, a lot of these people I picked up on, a lot of these people are praying to God, like, please, because all the ancestors are attacking them. All this karma is attacking them. It's coming. Physical sickness, illness, accidents, like, And the reality is they're over here like, please, God. And God's like, bro, I sent you more prophets, and you attacked them. You attacked my light beings. You attacked them. You spit in my fucking eye. You don't need to pray to me. You need to beg them at this point. Because them feeling like you did them wrong means we're coming in as their legion of angels to sort your ass out. So stop praying to God because you pissed God off. That's why the shit's happening to you. Apologize and take accountability where the accountability is fucking due, and stop condoning people and bad behavior and bad shit, because that makes you just as guilty. Birds of a feather. So anyways, guys, as always, I appreciate all of your love and all of your support. I will tune in probably later this evening. Right now it's 6, so my cat wants to come in. It's dinner time for us. And yeah, as always, I appreciate it. You guys are doing good. If you're on this mission, you're on your own, but you are not alone. Keep going. And if nobody told you today, you're amazing. You're awesome. I'm proud of you. You got this. You got a whole community. Thanks, Soul Fam. We're all out here. We're spreading the love. Spread the love, not the hate. Okay. And what is it? I'm proud of you. You got this. I love you. You're amazing. You're awesome. You are divinity experiencing itself individually. So remember just to remove yourself from, again, if there's rotten fruit on that tree, jump the tree and roll down a hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, better to be alone, better to be in tune with the divine than in bad partnerships, situationships, families, or anything else. Better to do that. So, as always, guys, infinite love, blessings, and light. Remember, you got this. We got this. Keep imagining. Magi Nation. Remember, we are creating, we're co creating, we're collaborating on this new era, it's new, not NEWKNEW. It's a series of remembrance. So let's remember our divine spark and where we come from. And let's create this beautiful thing together. Let's co-create this beautiful future together. And the future is feminine. If you guys didn't see it, I put up a slap. You guys go and color it. Go and color it and submit it back. The future is feminine. I'll try to put up this one too. The matriarchy meow. Okay, fuck the patriarchy, matriarchy meow. Not because I hate men, because I love the earth and the goddess, the most high goddess. So as always, guys, smoochy boochies and ciao for meow. Matriarchy meow. Zoe out. You're very welcome. You're on your own, but you're not alone. Yes, better to be alone than in bad company. You're absolutely right. Thank you, guys.